Live from Phan Art, it's Wook Plus Live. Featuring The Great Blend, T-Strong, with special guest, Great Night, Benji Eisen, and from Osiris Media, RJB and Tom Marshall. And your hosts, Weekend Wook.
Welcome live from Phan Art. Hopefully, somebody tell us if we're actually there and you can hear us.
Hello.
Not an advertised guest, but we are joined here at the top by Youthful Ryan.
I like youthful. That's good.
Youthful from Canada.
Solid.
T-Strong, great to have him here. And I am Weekend Wook. All right, where do we want to start? You want to talk about last night? You want to talk about this awesome Phan Art show?
Phan Art's awesome. Dude. Shout out to Pete. He's awesome. Kev's back there. And shout out to Pete for organizing this. It's amazing. A lot of good people here.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, a lot of good goods. A lot of good goods.
Good.
Good.
They're the goodest of the goods.
Goodest of the goods.
No, and GrooveSafe is here benefiting from a lot of donations. We got Osiris is over there. We're going to be talking to RJ and Tom.
And make sure you check out GrooveSafe outside section 110 if you're at the shows.
Yes,
before the show.
Ashley's right over there. Actually, I just saw her.
She's awesome.
Good to see her.
Hey, there he is.
Whoa!
There he is.
Fucking
I'm going to step
traffic.
out of the way. Let's bring in Greg Knight, our
Advertised
first guest. Excellent.
Hey. We're on. We're live.
We're live.
We're live. We're
How's
on.
it going? Nice to see you.
It's chaos.
All right.
Hopefully these mics sound good enough on air.
Okay, cool.
It's tight. It's a tight space here.
It's all good, you know.
We wanted to not take up too much frontage from the vendors because they're all working hard, and this is this is for them. But we wanted to broadcast. How you been?
I'm good. For all of you watching, Phan Art's not at Hotel Penn. All right.
Yeah, where's all the Wooks?
Sunglasses are on.
Sunglasses are on.
We're ready.
Activated here. Hey, young Ryan's here.
Oh, yeah.
First YEMSG.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it everything you always hoped it would be?
And more.
And more.
Last night was like, Wednesday night was fun, but like last night was it.
We got everything last.
That was it. Yeah.
We did.
Everything I could have
Who
hoped
needs
to
to go
dream.
tonight?
Yeah,
Me?
you know.
Yeah.
Definitely
Who needs to
me.
get rid of their tickets?
Anyone?
Yeah.
Seriously,
Anyone got-
somebody has an extra.
Please at me.
Well, last night I'm not gonna be able to remember the set list. So, what was your highlight from the show? You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna be able to run through it all.
Yeah,
Ryan may be able to.
it's true. I might.
You've been to way fewer shows than we have. My highlight from last night, which I don't normally say, I don't think, was like, I feel like the chalk dust itself, structure-wise, was a little bit rushed, but the jam was awesome.
Yeah, but they've been doing that in recent years, where like Trey will want to get to the second jam, and so he'll kind of like truncate the first solo a little bit because he wants to get to the more extended improv, which he definitely did last night. I think we were 5 minutes in, and
Yeah.
But it was fun.
but you know what? When they're
That's fucking
opening the
awesome.
second set with chalk dust, I'm expecting that to happen. Like I'm expecting us to be second jam by 5 minutes in.
I'm still sweating from that.
You know why they
from that.
do that though? It's because they put the set opener on YouTube, and they don't want to have an extended jam.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
on
but
top.
they'll do it. They did a 47-minute Soul Planet to open a second set.
Well, that's because ticket sales are down.
It's true. It's true.
Bring him back.
It's all business. It's all business.
But yeah, I mean, Esther was cool. Like I haven't heard Esther in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, same. I think the Ghost, that was last night, right?
Yeah, the Ghost was
is
amazing.
great. I forgot.
Ghost, the energy. That was one of those ones where, like, I don't look at my phone, right, the whole show, but because of the whole bracket thing,
Right.
and the Reba the night before, it just started the constant boom, 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 notifications of the vibration, which I didn't want to look at, but they added to it heightens your anxiety and your excitement, and I'm just like,
I love the poll that you did after the show, by the way, like the 420 Reba or the 421 Ghost.
And I guess
I was with Skoy when I saw it, and
It's Ghost. It's Ghost
yeah.
for sure.
Oh, it was Ghost for sure. It was amazing. And there was a minute around like 14 minutes in or so where it sounds like Trey's going back into the main Ghost riff.
Yep.
And I was like, no, not yet. And then the rest of the band was like, no, let's keep going. And Trey listened.
Yeah.
And then that last couple of minutes was just awesome.
So
Can we talk about Gordon last night? I feel
Yes.
like Gordon was driving
Yes.
the ship.
yeah.
He reminds me of like a future Trevor Weeks.
Yeah.
We're going there
How many
already.
people are watching? Yeah.
Got 8
I feel
people.
like there was. Yeah. I feel like there was a
It
lot of.
actually doesn't register the Twitter and Facebook. So that's just YouTube. So it's probably like a lot more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
But no, I think Gordon was killing the game last night. Like, really was. And I was Mike's side. I felt like eye level with him, so I could see his listening lip sync,
Yeah.
you know? And I really, like, just a lot of standout melodic playing.
Yeah.
Really.
I found that the way he led the modulation in the Tweezer Jam, like that was all him. Like they were sitting in that groove. Trey was playing with the Your Pet Cat themes, and
Dude,
it
my
felt
wife
like
kept saying that all night. She's like, "Your pet cat is all over this show."
I was worried. They were doing it last night too.
Yeah.
I was worried that he was going to segue into Your Pet Cat during the Tweezer Jam.
Yeah.
But I also felt like they were kind of alternating the Your Pet Cat and also kind of playing with the Free Jam a little bit, kind of that kind of vamp. But then Mike just beautifully modulates into this major key, and the rest of the band follows. Then
And they were ready for it. They were waiting
I was
for
just
everything.
dreamy. And then Trey's playing that Your Pet Cat like riff again, but it had a totally different feel after the modulation. That was incredible.
Yeah, it really was.
And it was only Tweezer was only 14 minutes.
It was beautiful.
Was it
though.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
It felt so much
Felt like,
longer.
yeah, it felt a lot longer.
Yeah.
What do we think about the Ghost of the Forest songs last night?
Run, About to Run.
About to Run was great.
Awesome.
Yep.
Always a good one.
Great placement.
Forgot Gold.
Was Drift last night? or
No,
the
Drift
before?
was 2 nights ago.
See, that's the thing when you're on a
Yep.
run, it starts to like.
Yep. Okay.
Now, wait, what? So what else?
Was that it from last night?
I think
Yeah,
that was the only Ghost of the Forest they played.
Okay, cool. Well, if you count the last 2 nights as last night, then
We got 2.
We got 2.
See, can you check
Last night we
my-
also had Man Who Stepped Into Yesterday. That was pretty sweet.
Yes. First time seeing it for you, right?
Yes, and also my first Wolfman's, my 12th show.
First Wolfman.
Yeah,
Really?
somehow.
Huh.
I didn't get my first Mike's Groove until show 8.
It took me a while. You know, I only have one song I'm chasing.
Yeah?
What is it?
Pebbles and Marbles.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Song slaps.
I would love to see that.
I love that song.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I hope they play tonight.
Me too.
I would be okay with that.
What do you think they're gonna do tonight? Do you have any speculation?
Well,
on the gag?
Based on, I've been saying it for the last 2 days to everybody who has seen me, but like all of their gear on stage is on movable risers, like most notably Paige's whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever the gag is, we'll
It's a
have
weird
a
stage.
completely different stage
Which
setup.
They do that with the Broadway tray, right? The
Yeah.
MSG.
But also
gags-
they've only done that for New Year's once, only for the clones.
But what I'm saying is that the big fancy productions, right?
Yes.
When they're in New York, it's more so than when they're in other like do Halloween,
Vegas, yeah.
Vegas or in AC,
Right.
or in Miami. They really go, and I think it's because of its connections here, right, and all the dances. But I think they realized how much real estate they lost when they put the ramps out front.
Yeah.
And around back, you lose seats and tickets because the pit's bigger.
Yes.
So I think that move is to do the big dance number,
Yeah.
and not lose.
So I think
Tickets.
we're going to get some sort of tie-in to the ongoing saga that they've been building, like the clones,
Yeah.
Sci-Fi Soldier. You know, I think we're definitely going to get a platform joke.
Okay. Yeah, I for sure.
I feel like that's inevitable. Like maybe they like lower one and Trey's like, nah. Like,
I didn't
Yeah.
think they were going to ever be elevated again, though.
Oh, I don't think so.
For sure.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll rise from the ground this time as opposed to like.
Well, they did that. That's how they got
You know?
on and off the stage for the Sci-Fi Soldier gag. Like they,
Right, it was like
there was
the
a
stage.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Every other New Year's I've gone to, by this point, Twitter's blown up with leaks
Oh yeah.
and predictions and like
Nothing.
Not tonight,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah, not at all.
I knew about the platforms a week before.
Oh, really?
Rescue Squad.
Yeah.
We animated. If you go back and look at Wook Plus, we actually did an animated thing a Brad and Chad on platforms
Nice.
so we knew what it was.
Yeah.
And I knew Petrichor like a day before, right? You usually know.
And golf too. I feel like
Golf,
got
yeah.
out. I mean, of course,
Golf was the
grass
first.
down.
Oh no, that was the first one I webcasted was the Steam Gag in 2011. But I loved the golf one.
You guys think Tom knows?
Tom probably knows.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know because I
Should
remember.
I ask him when he comes? Like, should we be like,
Yeah.
tell us what is the game?
Tell us everything you know.
Yeah.
Well,
The next
I
few
remember
years.
hearing him on one of his many podcasts talking about the Baker's Dozen and how, he stopped going to the sound checks because he realized that they were using it as a rehearsal for what they were playing tonight. So I get the feeling he doesn't want to know what they're going to do.
And I have a feeling they wouldn't tell him anyway because I don't think he can hold
Right.
info in.
That's why I don't
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
think he's like, a little loose lipped with some of the insider info.
Totally.
That's why we always got those leaks. It was actually Tom Marshall the whole time.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I'm
okay.
I'm that guy.
Technology.
Yeah, we did it.
Ooh.
Awesome.
I brought some mics, but I got here at 2:02.
Yeah, so we're using our room mics in a very loud
Very
room.
loud room, yeah.
It's
Audio
working.
engineers love that.
It's the you get the vibe.
You run another one in.
I mean, people don't mind watching Greg run lines, right? Do you have a stand?
Nope.
You can hold it.
I can hold it though, yeah.
Oh, how many you got?
I only have one XLR.
I got this one. No, but I'm saying we can pull these.
Technology.
The mics.
It's a wonderful thing.
Figuring this shit out live. Wait, but what is the audio?
We'll do it live. Or we'll do it live.
What do you think we should call it? Should we fuck with the audio or just it's good? Yeah, we'll leave it. Okay.
You can hold the mic, for
Yeah.
decoration, little prop
I
action.
could do that with just one not plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adds to it looks more professional if you're holding the mic.
You got to put the Wook in Wook Plus. That's
Exactly.
high production quality.
Exactly.
Right here. All right. So yeah, live or live, which.
I mean, I think I like the live joke because also people who don't know what it is and they see it, they
Right.
assume it's live and it's like, no, it's Wook Plus
It's
live.
how we know which guests actually have watched the show and which guests just say it.
Right.
Because guests, you probably get it right. You guys both have podcasts. I'm sure you get it too. It's like, oh, I love your show. And some of them actually watch or listen.
Right. Like I can always tell, when I did one with Scott Marks a few weeks ago, he was like, oh, I listened to the episode I did with you.
Yeah.
And he said, a specific reference from that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And
it's
then
like,
other
oh, I
times-
love your podcast, but
That's why that's where I think the joke was barely as funny is just people come on and be like, oh, I'm so happy to be on Wook Plus Live.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, all right, you've never
you're a
seen
fraud. Get out of here.
Get out of here. I know, and then I wanted to keep it going.
There we go. Mic check.
there we
Mic
are.
check.
Hey,
Beautiful.
everyone. I do like when people are like, I don't listen, they just, I'm sorry, but I don't listen. I'm like, that's great. That's cool. I appreciate that.
At least you're being honest about it.
Yeah.
My thing with podcasts is I listen to them, but it's not a straight through.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
never have an hour to
Right.
listen. So I'll listen to 15 minutes, go to work, on my way in or whatever, then I'll work, and then listen 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I get it truncated. So I like, for podcast creators and those of you out there, put pauses, right? For people that
Totally.
can only get bite sizes. I like
Right.
long-form productions. This is a 2-hour show.
Oh, I also, with Always Almost There, we've been doing 2.5 hour
Yeah, you
tour
guys go
recaps.
deep.
We go,
Yes, yeah.
we go a long time.
Yeah. Bruce and I get sick of each other, so it's like
You do it in smaller doses, live.
yeah, smaller doses. It's good. Yeah, it yields more episodes.
Yes.
And me not having to go to
Hashtag
therapy.
content.
Hashtag content. So Ryan Storm,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on YEMSG, the sights and sounds of the city?
Well, if I may, people need to hear me. I gotta take the mic. It's been incredible. I've been to New York a few times before. Never been inside Madison Square Garden until
Really?
Wednesday.
Okay.
And yeah, just immediately, again, Wednesday night was the warm-up night. It was fun. Crowd was excited, but honestly, last night was just incredible. Hearing the crowd erupt during jams, just feeling the energy of the room, and it's just and where I am on the Chase Bridge, I have a really good vantage point. I can see everything that's happening.
Love the bridge.
Get a
Love
great
the
spot
bridge.
view of the stage.
Yeah.
I was talking about on HF Pod yesterday how I'm watching Paige when he's playing piano and organ at the same time, dance back and forth with his feet between the pedals on the two. And I was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the garden is
Yeah,
Sorry.
gotta have the
The
mic.
garden is magical. My first ever experience at the garden was a New York Liberty game.
Oh.
The inaugural season of women's basketball at the garden.
Probably not the worst thing you've seen at the Garden.
More
actually.
Liberty games than fish shows. No, I've definitely been to more fish shows than Liberty games, but it was cool. And then having gone to UConn, the Big East tournament was always here.
Yeah.
So a lot of experiences with the round ball bouncing, but even more with music.
I mean, there are round balls bouncing.
What's bouncing?
There are also, there are balls bouncing everywhere.
That's true. That's you know.
I think we're gonna get a balloon drop tonight too.
Yes, 100%.
Probably, yeah.
It's
looks
New
like it was
Year's
set up
Eve.
for-
No.
It's on the fish calendar. It is not officially the new year until we ring it in with the band.
So do these stats go to 2021 or 2022?
No, you're seeing the show in 2022, but it's New Year's Eve on April
Okay.
22nd, 2022.
That makes sense.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. I'll take it.
Why not?
There's enough about what we do that doesn't make sense that it makes sense.
Most of it.
Like,
Yeah.
Most of it.
why are we doing this right now?
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
Podcasts everywhere.
All right, so what was the second highlight for last night?
My second favorite
Yeah.
moment. Character Zero, Tweezer, Character Zero.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I like that.
That
We
was
talked
so
about
cool.
that, Hood.
Yeah.
Hood was awesome.
How do we go 20 minutes into a show and Hood doesn't even pop up? That's how great of a show it was.
Right.
'Cause That was, and then Maze, dude. The Maze.
The maze was nuts. It's gonna be good when on the intro Trey's doing the loops and shit. When he's feeling himself at the beginning, you're like, okay. And the way he was watching Paige during his solo, I was like, this is great. Then he ripped it.
I like Susie too.
Susie was great
Susie
opener.
energy.
Yeah.
You know?
Great
Like,
opener.
That's weird for an opening, right?
Yeah, but it was great.
definitely.
I've seen it a bunch as an encore,
Yep.
and then in the second set too, right? I
Yeah.
guess that closed the first set, but I don't remember seeing it in opening.
In the opening spot.
I feel like it's opened a couple
It
of
must
shows
have.
before, but yeah. It's a unique pick.
Which is a very 4.0 thing to do.
Got an extra water? Can I snag one?
We need to get Susie on here.
We're like, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Tom what she was like, because he went to the show with her last night.
Yeah.
Like, what was that moment like? Her being there and seeing Susie.
Yeah.
She probably doesn't give a fuck though. She's like, wow, this is crazy. You guys
Right.
Singing
idolize
about
my
me.
name.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just wonder what she's been doing for this whole time. I've never gone to the
I don't know the
show.
score. What do you?
Yeah.
It's just an X or a dude alike. X, right?
I feel like this is a fact Ryan Storm would know.
No, I think it's still speculation. I don't know.
Okay.
I was shout out GrooveSafe again. I was helping Ashley at the GrooveSafe table before the show last night, and the one time that I go to the bathroom for 2 minutes, I missed the Dude of Life and Susie Greenberg coming by.
Really?
So my dad met them,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
I have a sneaking suspicion you're going to meet everyone.
I will.
You know,
It'll happen.
It'll
They're
happen.
pretty recognizable. Actually, I think all three of us are fairly recognizable
Yeah.
now because our faces are out there. And shit.
Definitely.
We're out there. We're
Yeah.
producing hashtag content.
Yes.
People know who we are.
Not only am I willing to give you hot takes, I'm
Oh,
willing to post a picture of myself online. It's usually not mutually exclusive, The hottest takes.
it just
always
means
come
you're
from this
confident enough in your
anonymous-
takes.
Yeah, well, that or my face. Or neither.
Both?
With these anonymous avatars.
Oh,
always
you're
with hot
looking
takes.
good, man. You're
Thanks,
looking
man.
Yeah.
Good shout. It's from sprinting here. I sprinted off like 10 pounds. So I'm pretty stoked. I've got some stuff to give away today.
Yeah, so
We
how
do.
do that? We're live.
We'll
so
do
we
it.
should
Like,
figure it out.
We have
We'll do it
things to
yet.
give away.
I have some trivia questions we can maybe do. And
Oh.
I'll look at the
Oh,
chat.
check it.
Yeah.
What
we
kind
can
of
do-
trivia though? Are because
Oh, fish. Yeah, fish trivia. I know
not
stuff.
going to dip into the goose trivia well
No,
on
I
the
don't
on
wanna-
the fish?
I don't want to do it to them. Yeah,
Shout out to the Goose Radio City ads in MSG.
Oh yeah,
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty. Yeah, that's surprising. I didn't know that was gonna be there, but yeah, I have some good trivia. So maybe I would say we'll give it some time, let people get in. Maybe do a Twitter giveaway and a YouTube.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Retweet. All right, so like and subscribe. You got to subscribe to the channel. That's going to be one of the rules.
Hey, wait, he's talking. Nobody can hear him. He's got to have the
sorry.
mic. Yeah.
You got to like and subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell. Right, that's the thing.
Ring
Smash
the bell.
like.
Ring the bell. Smash that like button.
Right. and
If you're
subscribe.
excited for more Wook Plus
How about we
content.
do it like this? Comment on the video with what you want to hear tonight, and we will.
Should we
randomly
open
select
up the
somebody.
chat here?
We could do that. Definitely.
See what's
wow,
going
we've
on.
got a lot of
Are we
fucking
streaming
chat
out?
going
We're on
on.
Oh my God! Hi, people. Will they do Auld Lang Syne tonight? I'm gonna say yes.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I should have had the chat up this whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Chat's solid.
They're like desperately trying to tell us what to do. And we're like,
That's good. I said on my fish bingo card tonight. Oh yes, thank you. On my fish bingo card tonight, Auld Lang Syne's the free space.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Do it.
Yeah, I think we can certainly do chat.
You want to wire that in?
I don't think we need.
No,
to.
it's serving the purpose.
So here's the thing, though, right? You guys do shows. You have that urge to want to keep the conversation going and hold the attention, and I do too. We don't want to lose viewers. But the truth is, we're gonna be doing this for 2 hours.
Yeah,
Right.
Let's just relax and take a deep breath, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna hang out. It's gonna be
we're having a
fun.
good time.
I'll be right back.
All right, man.
Here, Ryan.
All right.
If you see Travis, tap him in.
I'll
Be
see
like,
Travis.
"Yo, jump
Yeah.
in."
Get someone else in.
I'll sub him out. All right, we'll be back. I'll think about trivia. I'll troll you guys in the
Greg
chat
Knight
in the
will
back.
return.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Llama, you know what? This mic is very important, and it is doing shit. It is.
Llama,
You unbeliever.
there's no wire, man. It's a prop.
It's a wireless mic. It's a wireless mic. We don't need wires. Where we're going,
Where
we
we're
don't
going.
need wires.
Hey, come sit in and say hi. We're live.
Hello.
Awesome.
We're live on the internet.
That's very exciting.
Here,
I'm
talking
very
to the
excited.
mic.
That's
I'm
not
very
a real
excited
mic.
to be on the internet.
It
It's
is
not
a real mic.
mic.
It is a
I
real
just get to
mic.
hold the mic in front of my face.
It's-
He's putting me
It's a
on.
prop.
That's
What do
awesome,
you guys?
man.
We're gonna go to Phan Art, get a little bit high, and record on international television.
That seems like a great idea.
That seemed like a
Nothing's
great
gonna go
idea.
wrong.
We're talking about fishing. You have a good tour, a run so far,
It's been amazing. We've had so much fun.
Right?
It's been freaking
right
awesome.
off the bat with Comini and all through all the way
Last
through
night,
last night.
my first Esther in 129 shows.
Oh.
Wait,
Yeah.
ever did you finally call it?
Yeah. Finally
Nice.
caught it. So that was
Congratulations.
huge. Thank you.
That's
yeah.
a lot of shows to
That
go
was
to
a
and not
huge-
My first
get
Esther
off.
too, but only 12 shows.
But, like, I mean,
You know what I didn't really market enough, which I thought was really funny, was night one was my 69th show.
Oh.
69 on board. That's
What?
just too broken.
And where was the?
There was nothing.
There was
no
nothing.
shirt, no bit, no sign my
No one was ready
helmet.
for you.
There was nothing.
I saw my 69th fish show on 420. That should be a
that
shirt.
should have been a shirt.
Would have been perfect.
Well,
But
congratulations.
you can still make it. We wouldn't wear. We didn't wear it for that night. Though.
Nobody would know.
Never happened. Here, I do have this to commemorate. We got some slaps out here.
It's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you were just looking to stop by and say hi, and I was like, "Come on our show."
No, I
Love
love it. This is great.
So does this
That's
mean,
what's
do you
amazing.
think that we're getting a sci-fi soldier related gag
I
tonight?
think it's very likely. I think it totally.
That's what you think
time
it'll be?
travel is in the works. Time travel. We're gonna get a
Amazing,
time
yeah.
travel.
When you're ready, I don't.
There
been
you go.
the
Have the
theme.
slap ready to go. Exactly. Why not keep it running? If there's anything they're good at, it's running a gag.
It's
dead
true.
right into the fucking
True.
ground.
They're gonna. Yeah, I was talking about it earlier. I was gonna say continue the saga of like the Cosmic Box, the clones, the sci-fi soldier, and it's
Yeah.
gonna keep going. They like to long con us.
Yeah,
that's
I
for sure.
love it. I love it. Anyway.
Kung gag. Yes, that is true. Good point. Mike was.
That would be my
quoting
Kung.
Kung.
He knows. No, he knows also that I haven't had a Kung. I posted a thing
Oh.
on like what I'm still chasing. Kung's on my list.
Well, I hope
so-
you get it.
And they did a tease last night during the hood.
Yes,
so-
Mike was quoting it during
Yeah.
Hood.
We're gonna get a Kung Your Pet Cat. That's what the clues are leaning to
Yeah.
from the jams.
Right?
Some mashup of Your Pet Kung.
Your pet Kung. Now, if it's your pet Kung, you will seem like a genius. We will broadcast
Right.
this
Gotta
everywhere.
say
Otherwise, no
live
one will
on
remember.
YouTube.
Hey, you know what? You can screen record this. Come back with receipts tonight
Yeah,
when
we're
they
coming
play
back
Your
to
Pet
check this
Kung.
out.
Your Pet Kung.
Yeah.
I don't think I want Your Pet Kung.
I'll believe you will have time traveled if that's what we get.
You enjoy my Pet Kung.
That seems like there's.
It's too good. It's too good.
Oh.
Is Ashley coming by?
Oh, Ash is coming by.
I'm gonna keep
Okay,
one
yeah,
of
yeah.
you out.
Okay, no, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna give it to Ash.
All right.
What's up, man?
You gotta go first though. Don't worry,
Love
it's not
it.
like we're live on TV.
We're live.
We're gonna give a high line.
We're live. Don't forget that.
Are we still on?
Right
We're
here,
on.
Right
Is
here.
it? Yeah.
People are watching. We're here.
Yeah.
Hello, Ashley.
Hi guys.
So
Okay.
graceful.
That's right. Good to see you
Holy
guys.
shit, that
Welcome.
was amazing.
We're
I'm used
live.
to being in small spaces. I know we're live. Are we live? Hi everybody.
We're live.
This is cool setup because we're not taking a lot of tables from the vendors, right? They still get their frontage, and we have a cool shot. We got basically a shot of Brad taking our picture.
Great.
Yeah, this is probably one of the busiest fan arts I've ever done.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been working with Pete for like probably 8 years.
You guys getting a lot of people stopping by the table?
Yes, it's really good. I don't know, it's chaotic, but there's so many people in here that we have 10 times the conversations that we have. Every single one is towards the mission and everything. Every conversation's towards the goal,
Yeah.
Every single person we can talk to and tell about what we're doing is
and it's also the reinforcement of the message, right? Because like you got the message out, but then seeing the support and like the buttons and the t-shirts and the hats and predominant in the shows, it shows to people that might not take it serious that we as a community are serious, right?
Absolutely.
Like this is important to us, and we're gonna support that message to get out. And I love it. I think Pete, before we went, before this opened, gives a little hoorah speech to everybody. And you're pretty much the only person that he pointed out in front of everybody. Right, which goes to show you how cool it is and how important it is. So, long story short, is support GrooveSafe. Send her money.
For anybody that doesn't know, our mission is to stop unwanted touching and stand against harassment, sexual assault, and build consent culture. We're finding it to be really grimy, but the thing is that now that we're partnered with Fish,
it'll pick you up.
Yeah, being able to be in the venue and partner with the band, it's the recognition, and people are starting to thank us a lot more than saying, "What is this?" So that means that when people are talking about it, after talking to me in our world, it's like they're bringing it out to the other world. And that's what I'm always saying is I can only reach my followers and the people that know. I can only scream so loud.
Right.
So we need people to open doors. Our buddy here, Rye guy over here, he's a super supporter. So it's nice to be able to have more conversations that are making other people have more conversations.
Yeah.
Remember, if you're at the show, outside section 110, go say hi, show your support.
Yeah, so that's good. I'm gonna set up in the show. I have to leave around 3:30, do my magic pack up, and then the magic pop up.
So you got to unpack here, hike over, and set up there. That's
it's like watching a magician though. It's like boom, and it's set up.
Yeah, and people always want to help me physically, like with the stuff, and I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, no, I get
that. The more hands you go in, the harder it is. So I say, hold on. And you saw it's just like, woo.
Yeah.
And then all of my little suitcase. And I'll probably change. Like, it's hot in here.
Yeah, no, it's super hot.
So we're cool.
Getting our schwitz on.
Yeah.
What did you think about the show last night? Did you catch most of it?
Yeah, not most of it, but I could hear it pretty clearly. I would say it's one of the better shows I've heard and seen, and as long as I can remember, is with the way that the fans responded to getting like heavy songs like in a row, and then I know so many people that are chasing Esther, and like it came out of nowhere.
Jordan was just here. He was like
129 shows or something in his first Esther.
That was his first Esther.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a lot of
That's
shows
a
for not
lot.
getting Esther.
Yeah, and I heard it, so I kind of ran into the section and sat next to someone like, "Can I be here for a minute?" And I was like, "I haven't seen this song in so long." And he's like, "I haven't seen it since '96."
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I was like, "Yeah, like this is cool." Like, whatever.
And now everybody that's here that was there last night can share in that we've all seen Esther together.
Right,
We've all seen Manu stepped into yesterday too.
Yeah, that was so.
I think I was more excited to see that than
You
Esther.
got
Was
such
that
a
last night too?
yeah.
Yeah.
You got such a
Everything you saw.
package. This guy got it.
I
all.
was also very excited for the Avinu Malkeinu, connecting with my religion, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's a big. I heard a lot of people being really happy about that.
It was great.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all good, and obviously a lot of people are talking about how the Ghost was better than the Reba. That's all people were
The
saying.
Ghost was better than the Reba. I will say
I
Reba
know.
still should have won the bracket.
Yes, but
I
they
will-
delivered on that Ghost.
Yeah.
What's weird is Reba beat Ghost like 2 years ago to go into the final
Okay,
four.
okay.
So
The finals
we all
are a different
thought
story.
Reba was gonna just run away with it.
Oh yeah.
But
It
wasn't.
should have.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh my
It's
god.
wild.
Fish fans are bad at fish
Yeah.
sometimes.
The other thing that was wild, and I don't know, we'll talk about it really quick, is on my way out of the venue, I had the suitcase or whatever. I saw a gentleman blowing up used
I
balloons
saw that.
with his mouth and selling them. So guys, be careful with your extracurricular
And
activities tonight.
please throw them in the garbage.
Yes,
Or, yeah, put them in
seriously.
your pockets.
I
The
saw the New
streets
York.
are gross.
I saw the New York Fire Department sweeping them up and washing the sidewalks. Like, they have other stuff to do, guys. Like, let's.
Like, yeah, if you want to have a good time with a
City
balloon,
scene
have a good
is
time
tough.
with it.
Yeah.
It
It's,
kind
Find the
of
garbage.
bums me out.
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't bum me out as much. I don't lie, but like when we were at like Deer Creek or whatever, and it's isolated on a field, and they go, and then most people throw it out because there's the cans right there. It wasn't as bad, but like in the cities,
People just dump it on the sidewalk.
You can't
Yeah.
avoid it either, right? You have to walk through it. You
Right.
can't
They
walk
have like a
around
well.
it.
Last night I didn't see it as much. I think it's because I walked more towards Times Square. I think after the show, but after Wednesday night, I just walked through like a crowd of people, like just a solid block of just balloons.
Yeah,
and
it's hard, especially if it's not your thing. Like, you just want to be like
Yeah.
Remember the tunnels, like before they had the scaffolding up?
over here, yeah.
Yeah, coming out.
Yeah.
For years, so where the scaffolding is, there used to just be two tunnels that came out. And for years, that's where they put all the tanks. And so you literally were like cattled into this tunnel with
Well, it was
tanks
like-
all
yeah.
around you.
At the Forum in the fall, it was like you walked out and they were like 10 feet in front of the exit.
That should be a new show on Wook Plus, Tank Talk.
Yeah, we could. Let's do
Go
it.
interview people while they're.
Especially with me, because I'm always like bulky, like carrying something out. Was it Eugene? They were on the steps. Like, it wasn't. You were 2 steps out, and they were blocking the whole way. And
Coming to Wook Plus, Tank Talk.
Tank Talk.
All right,
Ashley.
I'm gonna
Tank
go
Talk.
back to my table and
Thank
do the
you.
thing. Love you guys.
Love you too.
All
Thank you
right.
for stopping by.
Love you all. Be safe. Come see us.
Support GrooveSafe.
110 on the venue tonight.
110.
Saying
Oh,
goodbye.
hi. Hey. I'm actually under here.
I actually.
All right,
Benji
bye.
under there.
I think I need to get water.
I'm just open when I'm not sick if you want or not.
I'm also not able to move.
We're in a little bit of a tight squeeze
We'll
here.
talk for a little bit.
I'll be back in like 1 minute.
All right, take your time. All right, let
I'm
Ashley
out.
out before
I'm
you go.
Oh,
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Ashley.
all right.
You see everything. You know, it's funny. We recorded behind the scenes footage, but we're actually just airing behind the scenes.
This is
footage.
basically what the behind the scenes footage was. Just
let's
us
see something
having
real
a
quick on
schmoop.
air here.
Oh, an unboxing.
Scoy, we got you a gift.
Skoy, we have
We got you a gift. You're gonna open it live.
former Wook of the Year, Skoy, the notorious fish fluffer.
Fluffer extreme, man.
See, our friend Skoy is like a goldfish. He really likes whatever is in front of him
I'm
at
wearing the
a specific
special at
time.
the moment. I should show them.
Hello.
I should text those guys.
All right.
Greg was
We got
just
an
here.
Skoy, how
I
are
think
you?
Ryan scared
Good.
Greg away.
How's it going, everybody?
We are live on the internet.
Open your gifts.
All right, I'm opening my gift. It's a nice mic, dude.
Yeah, I'm a nice
So
guy.
is this one.
Oh, Greg, that's Greg. So he's
It's
not
Greg's.
gone.
It's Greg Mike.
Mike. You got wireless mic.
Okay, and it's a shirt.
What is it?
Oh!
Show the camera. Show the folks at home.
Turn it the other way.
Oh, I love it.
And that Reba from the other night was fucking sick.
And that's what we call fluffing.
That was a special moment. That was a special.
Yes.
That was. Had to do it. That's what we books do.
I hope Greg's okay. I think he wasn't expected to come right on the air.
Probably not. And it's about as
Yeah.
We
bald.
are. We're live on the internet.
Wow.
Yeah, there's at least
Say hello
one
to
or
the
two
internet.
people
Hi,
probably.
internet. You guys want stickers? I got stickers for you.
Sure.
Want to try? Yeah, grab a couple. Want to try? I love them.
Thank you. Ah, sweet. Cool sticker.
Yeah.
Fan art. We've got some fan art at Phan Art. What happened?
That's my unopened one. Did you have an open one? Yeah, I think it's this one. I think that's yours.
Are we sharing water?
Yes. Your shape pen?
I have this.
Oh, okay.
Lights up.
You're welcome. No, I got it.
No, it's from
Let's go admiring his shirt on television.
Fan Club.
Are you fucking kidding? I went searching for a good one for you.
Did anyone else expect a spotlight on T Strong for Susie?
It's fucking hilarious.
What's up, Trav? You're being paged in the chat. I'm gonna put this down.
Oh, I'll use that one.
Oh yeah, use the mic. Use the mic.
That's not live. That's not live.
Talking to the mic.
It's a prop.
Talking to the mic.
It's a prop mic. I could rap
It's necessary.
on it. Susie. And the one slot was awesome, and part of my new Love and Light situation with the band, I'm not complaining about anything. I thought it ripped, and the fact that she was there in person made it even more special, which I can't wait to ask Tom about when he comes over and sits down about what she thought of it all. But I thought that was pretty spectacular. I can slide over here. Who's slide in there?
Greg.
Greg?
Oh, I miss Greg?
Greg is here. He's coming back. He's got giveaways to do.
Oh, shit. All right, let me say what's up, and then I'm sitting down.
Okay, we're here. We're at PhanArt, live at the Stewart Hotel in New York City.
What's up, brother?
Today is April 22nd, 2022, New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah,
That's right.
very, very excited to celebrate.
Exactly. Take it like a New Year's resolution. So if you need to make new ones already,
Exactly.
go for
We
it.
were talking about I think it was on HF Pod yesterday. We were like,
Right.
if you stop going to the gym on January 10th, this is your second chance.
Yeah, we're gonna redo.
You can do it again.
That's right. New resolutions. April resolutions. Need to make a few. I'm excited for tonight, though. I think Ashley said it earlier, or at least posted something about it. But last night after the show, you could see the semis loading in the gear for tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder what it's gonna be.
Well, tell us in the chat, what do you think the New Year's gag is going to be? I think we've talked a little bit about it already, but if you have any concrete guesses,
Or
let us
theories
know.
Or anything. I know. I'm curious. Whatever it is. I'm sure it's gonna
Okay,
be fun.
here he is.
Holy
Sky
shit.
Serious in the house.
Is there a mobile mic or
Yeah, right
something
here.
of these things? Dude, it's so hot in here. Holy shit.
That's a little warm.
We're a little schwitzy here at PhanArt.
Which is nice though, because the last week has been freezing out here.
I've been wearing shorts.
Freezing. You're
I know. I
I'm
wish I
Canadian.
would have brought some shorts.
Oh, there you go. You're used to that.
Yeah,
Just
today is
northern
gorgeous.
cold.
If you're not in New York, we are experiencing a sunny 19-degree day. That is Celsius. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but
It's like
Celsius.
66 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous day.
Yeah. Oh, it was good kicking out with you last night.
Yes, it was.
Had a couple drinks. I
We had
can't
a good
remember exactly
time.
where the hell we were.
We had a good time after the show.
Yeah, we did. Where did we go? What was
Painter's
that?
Alley. was
Painter's
called.
Alley.
Thank you to Chop for organizing that.
Oh yeah, and I finally got to meet Chop. That was also
We had a
exciting.
good time.
I
Yeah.
don't know how you guys do it, man. I literally got done with the show, went and did the after
I-
show, and hit the shower, and I was done. And I still couldn't get up this morning.
I went to bed around 3.
You guys are filming every night?
Yeah, we're doing a post show.
Well,
Fammer
Fammer's been holding down the fort
Producing
from home.
Okay.
Shout out Fammer.
That's right,
Hey, what up,
man.
We
Fammer?
love you.
That's right.
What up, everybody?
Yes, me and my
It's good,
Celsius.
it's good to see everybody again.
I
I'm trying to think. You guys probably talked about the show and stuff.
talk
already.
about. Wait, well, you didn't have words last night because it's a bit
No,
too soon.
I always have a hard time
What do you think?
talking about the show after the show.
Fluff
just because
away.
there's
Let's
so
see
much
it.
going on. Fluff away. All right, let's see. I really did think night one, I think, is like a sleeper as far as I'm concerned. I really did like night one a lot.
Yeah,
Obviously,
me too.
fucking Stash and Reba were fucking amazing.
Yes.
I really think it's funny how certain
Z's is great,
shows
too.
get like, let's go ahead and say the word fluffed, but like last night's already getting fluffed big, which is what Tweezer Hood. I mean, I'm trying to
I mean, that
remember what
Tweezer
happened.
jam was
It's
just
fucking awesome.
that was
And then like
So
it
good.
actually had a nice seg back to Tweezer in character 0.
That
which
was so
fairly
cool.
flawless.
That was so cool.
Trying to think what else
I mean,
happened.
last night was not without its misses either. There was a couple flubs, and I had talked about there was a couple missed light cues, which were pretty
Yeah.
obvious. But
Nothing
all
major.
all in all, it was
Wow.
beautiful. Loved every second of it. Like, it was
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah, last night was phenomenal. I mean, the whole run so far has been fucking phenomenal.
We're gonna play musical chairs real quick. Here we
Musical
go.
chairs,
Here we
here we
go.
Go that way. Let me go. Man, it's hot as
Thank you,
fuck in
Wook Plus,
there.
for having me.
Yes,
It's been a
well, you'll be
pleasure.
back
Oh,
on.
I'll come back. Yes.
Yeah.
It's corn night. I'm wearing yellow.
Right.
Oh my God. it's so
All right.
fucking-
All right. Okay.
That way. Just push Brad
Oh.
out.
Am I out?
I need one more out. You out?
All right. Let me. I'm gonna take my breather again.
Oh, this is yours?
It's Greg's. Leave it.
Hey, love you, fam. I love
Boy,
you,
come
fam.
back in between Benji and
Okay. You better get McKeon on here for at least a minute.
Well, I don't know where he is.
He's outside.
Oh, hey Tim,
Oh, hey, T.
how's it going?
So, what time did you get here?
I was a little late, but I made it.
Welcome to the
Oh,
Wook
man.
alcove. It's crazy tight in here, man.
It is crazy.
Well, we got like a nice, once you're settled in, we had this nice
Oh yeah.
calm corner amongst the chaos.
A little respite.
That's right. It's like going under the
Area
wave.
respite.
See, you're on the bottom. It's nice and
If
calm.
it wasn't such a cool shot to have the room, I would have just like put a tent over and have like our own like studio. But it's a cool
Put a
shot.
green screen and put you at the edge of the universe or something.
That's what we need.
We should have got a green screen, but have it in the frame so you could still see all the people behind it.
Yeah. Put a green screen on the back wall.
So far in this run, what are your thoughts? What's your big takeaway?
Well, the first night was a lot of fun. Right? And that's all it was. It was just a lot of fun. Right? But it was a lot of fun. It was like a dance party. It was great to be back in the garden. So they had a garden party. You could feel the energy coming out the way that they came out. You know, like I think Karini was definitely the call. In hindsight, half the time, like when they do something like that, you're like, of course.
Yeah.
You know, like when they did Fluff Head in Hampton. In hindsight, no one would have predicted that, but in hindsight, you're like, of course.
It's the only thing could have done in that spot. And I felt that same way coming in on 420 on a shifted New Year's run.
Yep.
What were they going to do? They could have gone in a weird direction, but I feel like Karini was the right choice.
And I agree. And people were talking about the 420 show, and it's like, no, like they're not going to do their first show back in the garden, opening up with Soul Shakedown Party. Well, maybe. Right, maybe. I mean, I could see that, but at the same time, like any day, you know, any time the Fish came back to the garden after being away for a while, Soul Shakedown Party would make sense. But then to do like Magic Soup, but to do a 420 set, there was overtly like they blazed on. They blazed on Leaves. Leaves was also
Well, you know, in Vegas we got those two shows that were like very
Those
when they played Leaves, I was like, oh, this is their subtle nod to it.
But I feel like in Vegas they did those two shows that were like the animal set show and the other show. So they kind of did that. So I kind of felt like we weren't necessarily going to get a themed show like that, maybe a couple songs, but I feel like that kind of ran its course in Vegas, and it wasn't like they were going to do.
Can't do it.
And not only that, you can't do it when it's about something that the band themselves don't do anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? It'd be different if this was, you know, if this was in the 90s, it would have been a totally different story.
Yeah.
And, you know, but
I'm going to put the mics in. I don't know if the audio is good or not, but I think it's we don't have to strain our voices.
Plus, I'm naturally loud. This is my indoor voice. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna get a theme set, but you know, it's also appropriate for Madison Square Garden because when they did Baker's Dozen, none of those shows were every single song. It was Shake Your Coconuts, and then Coconut ended. And
so if Leaves was really a subtle nod to 420, and then Blaze On and Stash
and Twist,
that was was very Baker's-esque.
Yeah.
In the way of nodding to it, right? It wasn't
without hitting you over the head or slapping.
Right, Vegas numbers like those hit you in the face with it.
And in a way that like Trey might be smirking because it's like, is Leaves a reference? Is it?
Right.
You know, like, and even if he's intended to be, which I think he did, at the same time, Twist, it's like those are so
Twist
subtle.
Is funny.
Those are so subtle that like. Either he cracked himself up with it because he's like, oh yeah, this is great. I'll do Twist. Nobody would get it.
Honestly, though, that's the litmus test for creativity, right? It has to react to you, right? You need to have something.
Yeah.
And then who cares if other people feel it too? Then great. But if not, you do it for yourself. So he has to be cracking up.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, he does those things. Every show spells something. I do think he does a lot of things in a lot of shows, even when it's like super minor, when it's like 3 songs in a row in the same key, and then a song that's referencing 3 or something like that. You know, he does these little things just to keep him in.
Or are we just really obsessive fans?
Yeah.
and are trying to find things that aren't really
Yeah,
there.
there's that.
They're
too.
just playing music and
Patterns
they're like,
everywhere.
Which would also explain Trey Smirk when he's like, "Oh yeah, I bet you, some stoner out there thinks twist is really about twisting you one up." Yeah,
Let's
sure.
just
You know?
confuse the fuck out of people. They'll
Yeah.
throw out references, and then they'll be talking about Zamfir and a pan flute for 5 years.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No idea why.
They should have brought Zamfir back on 420.
I think they might tonight. I think no, they don't. They're not
Yeah,
going
they never really go back. It's always forward and straight with them.
I mean, like way after, like meat stick or something.
Or given the amount of time that it's been, this could be the one time that I should have seen them and they blew it because they didn't do it on 420. But to do the Rescue Squad and to have the show start by Trey being stranded up there, and then come down, that would have been cool. It would have been like,
but not actually Trey, a stunt double.
Yeah, stunt double.
Don't put Trey up in the sky
ever again. But at the same time, it could have been cool because then they could have been like, Happy New Year. Like, this is like, time has not elapsed. The pandemic did not happen. Right. Trey's coming down from the ceiling, and you guys have been stuck in a little loop ever since the last time we were
there's going to be Wooks
left
coming.
off. And
here we go.
And there's going to be Wooks coming out of the show tonight, regardless, that are going to be stuck in January.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Probably for at least a few days. Like,
Well, I mean, it's happened to me already. So a friend of mine reminded me that her birthday was on 12/30.
Yeah.
And so yesterday I was like, Happy birthday. Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah, it's December 30th. It's like last night. It's New Year's tonight. Last night was the December 30th show.
I was wondering during the show why it was so cold, and I just realized it's because the air conditioning's on, right? And every time I'm at MSG, most of the time it's in the winter and they don't have the AC on, and you always have heavy layers because it's fucking cold out in December in New York. So, like, it was weird how cold it was. It wasn't that cold in Tax Runs.
The both legs.
But in your mind, you're like, oh, it's New Year's Eve. You don't realize, like, they're actually blowing cold air in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So what do you guys think the big stunt's going to be tonight? Do you think they're going to do New Year's? Or do you think they're going to do an alternate New Year's?
I think it's New Year's. I was saying your pet Kung, because apparently they've teased Kung.
They teased Kung last
night. And my wife actually pointed out to me, since she said I keep hearing it, your pet cat-esque jams, like, you know, like, hidden through all the other jams.
Yeah, they have been.
Because I've been hearing Kung for sure. I mean, last night they said Kung.
Yeah, so I feel like if they practice something and rehearse it, they get it stuck, and then it manifests in the jams, even if it's not fully conscious. Like there's a finger memory there.
Yeah.
Or again, maybe we're just obsessive fans.
Or maybe we're obsessive fans. Maybe Trey was, had your pet cat in his head. Period.
Right.
You know, like maybe like something it was an earworm.
I feel like there's a musical nerd that's watching. That's like, it's just staccato notes.
Yeah.
You asshole! Like he's just playing staccato notes. It's not even your pet cat. Conspiracy theory. What are you doing?
That being said, what I'd like to see them do tonight, since it's not New Year's. And, I think they should play off that fact. So maybe Sci-Fi Soldier going a year. What year did they come from? 40, 62? Right. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's some year that nobody can remember.
It added up.
Which is weird.
It was if you added up all the numbers from the number show, that was the year.
That was the year. So maybe now it's their New Year's. Maybe we go into the future,
future New Year's.
or something like that. So I mean, if not that, some weird twist where sci-fi. Like I like the time warp idea of
time warp would be
since
cool.
the last time you were here and now there's no pandemic. Nothing happened. It was just
play other covers in the time theme, I don't know. Like,
going back in time, back to the future stuff.
Right, and just tie in a time theme and the time machine. You could actually go back to 95 and then.
Well, you need a DeLorean for that.
but I mean,
with a working flux capacitor.
Right. They attempted with Sci-Fi Soldiers to tie all of the lore together, right?
Yeah.
Like the wingsuit cover album, with Gamehenge, with Cosmod Box, with Sci-Fi Soldiers.
It was multiverse of fish.
Right, it's the multiverse. So maybe they can do something to further that.
I thought so too. Maybe we see the 10th cube.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, right. Yeah.
This
And
is
that'll
actually
change.
the 10th cube that we're live in.
Yeah, this is there you go. Yeah.
But it will be interesting. I mean, there's a lot out there. Like, is it the original thing that we're gonna do? Is it something new now? Is it a hybrid of the two?
It's where I mean, I know that they paid for they paid the special effects company for the YAD, so they have to do it.
So they have to do something. Yeah, I mean, something's coming. So it's just
put
did
a lot of
modify
money
it?
into the
They
gags.
put a lot of money into it, a lot of time, and they rehearsed. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if they pivoted it or if they. I mean,
or add on to it. You think since they had more time
Or
to
add
think
on to
about
it.
it and fuck with it, maybe it'll be bigger.
Because I think another band would feel like they were being super cool by doing their New Year's Eve stunt and 4 months later because it's postponed. And I feel for Fish, it's like that's the starting point.
Right.
That's where they're like that. They tell management they're like, you know what? If we can't do the New Year shows, let's still do it, but let's do it in April. Let's announce it now. We'll still do it in April, and then between New Year's and this week, you know that their brains were going, and they're like, dude, wouldn't it be fun if we did this? You know, like
Look at what they did with Halloween with the Casbah. You know, like they only had a few weeks after Curveball went down, and to swing into that, and look at what that created.
Yeah.
And now you're giving them 4 months.
Yeah,
from
that's
December
right.
To now, and to not think they're not sitting around going, maybe we should change this up.
But do you think there's enough time?
It's the lesson of curveball, 100%.
Right.
But do you think that's enough time to where maybe they psych themselves out and pull back? Right, because some of like the more brilliant ideas you do with the momentum of the idea,
and you're like, do it, and then the more time you have, it kind of fades.
you
and you're like, is it
overthink
still a great
things.
idea?
Maybe you pull it
But maybe
back.
that's why they tweak it and make it better, though, or go forward a little more with like with the Casbah.
What do obsessive Fish fans talk about when they get together? The psyche of Trey and the New Year's Eve gag on 422.
Well, it's all you know, like conjecture and prediction. It's basically like sports radio or something. Where we're just sitting here talking about, well, they could have a great season if they do this and this and this. It's that same kind of thing. We're just throwing the theories out there and hoping that
it's
sticks.
the same thing with like it used to be in the 90s. It used to be that if you wanted to predict Fish, it was so much. There was so it was, you know, like set every 4 to 5, maybe 6 shows, Antelope would close.
Right. It was easy to look cool and
knowledgeable. It was easy to look cool and knowledgeable.
You had a smaller selection of songs. You're probably
That's
getting
right.
Divided Sky tonight.
Yeah, whereas now, like, we can predict all we want, but they can play Waiting All Night for all we know. You know, like they have so many.
The theme is Waiting All Night.
Benji just unleashed in my mind why jaded vets are jaded, and it's because they can't call shit at shows because there's somebody that's like, oh, what's this, and they don't know that it's the Howling. Right?
Yeah,
they're like,
totally.
fuck, I can't call this, so I'm going to be angry.
Exactly.
The Howling was great, by the way.
It was real good.
I think so. That was the 3rd time they played it, and I always say it takes Fish
They
3
played
times.
They played it in Mexico,
Mexico,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
How were those shows?
Those shows are great.
They're fun, right?
They're fun. They're on the beach. You know,
in Mexico.
In Mexico.
Not
Mexico.
like Atlantic City Beach. Like
Yeah,
Mexico
in
Beach.
Mexico Beach. With with waiters bringing you drinks every 5 seconds. You know, on trays, just like, please take these.
That's
and so I mean, it's seamless, it's beautiful, it's a Mexican beach.
Yeah.
I do want to go back to the Howling real quick though and say that everybody that was complaining about those sci-fi soldier songs right after Halloween, like, oh, these are going to be so brutal in the rotation, and that set was so weird. It's so great now to see everybody like, that song's awesome. I can't wait for them to keep playing that, and like. You knew that was going to happen as they started getting in the rotation, start playing them. But
it'll shift out. The good ones will come to the top.
Right,
The
as always. But it's still funny to see people.
But it takes the Howling. That was the 3rd time they played it. Mexico was the 2nd, and it took them until the 3rd time when, for me, because I liked it off the bat in terms of like I love new Fish material, and there's an adoption period, but like I love hearing it and I'm open to it, and I'm always like. Even if it hasn't given me like that moment yet, I know that it eventually will. So I'm like rooting for it. I'm like, okay, cool, this is great. But the Howling in Mexico is like, okay, let's see what they do with it. And they didn't. It was like, oh, okay, they're still. And then last, the other night when they played it, I felt that like there's almost like a 2001 section in there now. You know, like it's this really fun.
Very cool groove there.
It's a very cool groove, and I feel like they're going to develop that, and we'll get an 8 or 9 minute, 10-minute Howling.
And what it'll be placed in too. You know, it's always fun figuring out what it works, like what they segue in and out of it with, like where it fits in the set list, and that's always fun too to see where
exactly decide to settle on it. I think it's great.
Was that night 1 or night 2?
That was night 1. I could see it becoming like a Martian monster or something.
That's what exactly what I was thinking.
Something like that. For sure.
I hope so. I mean, I like it. I want to see him.
And there's some songs like Martian Monster and like Santos that just make that rotation and become like those kind of songs.
What do you call that style of Fish? Because that's like a very specific style now, right? That has grown.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that, but I like it. The Martian Monster style.
Yeah.
You get a whole show like that would be fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have like an old school like 1.0 Ranger show, right? Like kind of a lot of Last Night had that with like Hood and Teaser.
Last Night was an old school Ranger.
Right, just like a rocking old school show. But then you could also have like this real fun, sci-fi, trippy, cool show.
With a lot from all those. I mean, you just start combining the Halloween shows together, and you get those trippy shows. You
Right.
take, like,
It's Thrill and Chilling, Cosmo Vox,
sci-fi,
Wingsuit,
sci-fi.
and sci-fi. Yeah, Halloween just has a flavor to it.
Yeah. Halloween does have a flavor to it. It's also very much in line with the stuff from Chilling Thrilling.
Yeah.
Thrilling Chilling. Yeah.
Right, that's what changed the game. That changed everything.
His
daughter talking to him and the epiphany and how we got into that was what changed the game. For sure.
And taking that and turning it into what they did musically. It's just, you still look back at that and you're like, how do you take this Disney album and turn it into this rock album, basically? And then they did it. And they still are doing it.
It's also funny because with Wingsuit, everyone complained. Yeah. And the funny thing to me about the people that complained was it was like, okay, I get it, but like every single time for Halloween before then, I'd know somebody that was absolutely convinced they're going to play Jimi Hendrix. Somebody else is absolutely convinced for whatever reason they're going to do, this is the year they're going to do Led Zeppelin, I can blah, 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 this or that. Pink Floyd, they're going to do, you
hear the same ones every year.
The same ones every year. And then those same people get disappointed when it's something like Waiting for Columbus, right? Or when it's something like Loaded, right? And then in hindsight, they love it because it turns them on to this album. But
it gives the band new covers in the rotation.
But there's always resistance, and so it's funny. Those same people that most of them would probably say Fish is their favorite band, and here Fish goes, you know what? Rather than play a classic rock album that you're not that familiar with, we're gonna play a brand new album of our own shit. And everyone's like,
why would they do
that?
But
you're my favorite band, but you're gonna give me a whole new album?
I'm always less worried about that night and more about what it means, I think, for the future of the band.
Yeah.
And if it's injecting energy and excitement to the band, I'm all about it. That said, the artist covers are important, right? When they did the Bowie album,
well, that was the only one that you really knew was coming too,
but
because he had died. So that was the one you kind of be like, I know what it's going to be, and that was one of the only ones that they played really straight down the line. Like there weren't a lot of jams.
But it expanded them though.
No, it did.
It made Trey a better vocalist.
Well, made him come out in front too.
And it affected his writing, right? Like Leaves, I feel like was written right after that, and that's a very Bowie inspired song.
But that was also the first time he really became a frontman. Like he had to stand out in front.
He put the guitar down, and came out, and like that, he never did that before.
Was that Moon Age Daydream?
It was
no, Rock and Roll Suicide.
Yeah. Oh my God, I get
totally. And he puts it down and comes out, and like that was a whole new thing for him.
Yeah,
whole new thing. And I think I remember he got vocal lessons before.
Yeah.
But you can hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear it. And so all of a sudden after that, Trey became, so to equate it to something else. So Bob Weir says, and I know that Trey and Bob Weir had this conversation.
I have another question for you.
So Trey and Bob had, before Fairly Well, had a conversation where Bob told Trey, I no longer, well, first of all, Bob says he's the world's best rhythm guitar player. But then he says he's no longer concerned about that, that now he just wants to tell stories. And he sees the role of a singer as a storyteller. And that's why the songs are so slow, by the way. It's Bob, with Dead and Company, it's Bob choosing the pace because he feels like he needs to tell the story. But
it's not Bill.
No, but that's true. But he told that to Trey, and then after that, Trey, studying with the Bowie said, it's like, oh, now Trey really wants to tell. He really wants to be a frontman. He doesn't want to just be a good guitarist. He wants to be known as a powerful frontman. You know, and
Yeah,
that's
he is. He is.
He is. Oh
All
yeah,
right.
he is.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot live in front of like at least a dozen people. What can you tell us about Dead and Co tour and the Rolling Stone article? Did you see that coming? Did
No.
you get notified? Did you talk to Bill about that at all?
I was on the phone with him when I saw the Rolling Stone notification on my phone. Right. And
of course you have that because you're connected with
but I looked down. Well, I have Google alerts for Dead and Company and also
it's professional.
I get the Rolling Stone thing, but I looked down and I see the notification, and it's one of those moments where I was like, I'm reading it as I'm listening to him talk, and I was like, do I tell him what just came out? And then I was like, it sounds like he might know, and he didn't tell me anything because it sounds like the band talked or something. So I said, I said, and as I'm saying, I'm like, am I going to regret being the one to tell him about this article? But I was like, according to Rolling Stone, this is the last Dead and Company tour. And he goes, what? And I'm like, well, I was like, it says it right here. And he's like, what?
And then he's like, oh, John, my.
Yeah. And so he's like, we gotta do something about that. We gotta say something. And then I looked down and I saw, I opened Twitter. And I saw that Bobby had literally right then.
Right, he was the first one.
Yeah, he was the first one. And we were about to do it when I saw Bobby. And I was also debating with Billy. I was like, do we just be silent and like figure out what that's like, let's just wait for a second and see what all this is about. And then Bobby did that, and Billy's like, no, we gotta go. Yeah.
That really did put it to sleep, right? When Bobby responded, I just figured as your position, if there was like a panic room where it's like, all right, we got to go and do it.
It wasn't a panic room so much as that conversation with Billy became like, what the fuck?
They announced late though, so there's a lot of room for speculation because there's that void there.
Yeah, they announced late.
Next year, if it's a big void, the rumor mill is going to be turning.
Yeah. Well, there's a big. I mean, they're looking to see where we were going to be with the pandemic. They didn't want to announce shows that they'd have to cancel or do certain things like that.
That's why we're here in April.
Yeah.
That short amount of time that they did announce that until Bobby tweeted that, which was very short. It's still ticket sales still kind of blew up because people were like, "Oh shit! Now I got to get those Dodger Stadium." I mean, we got our Dodger Stadium tickets because we're like, "Oh, well, that's it.
I did tell that to Billy, and then I go, I was like, it's not the worst thing. I was like, I understand why everyone's a little bit upset because it's upsetting to read that your band's breaking up when your band's not breaking up. So it's kind of weird. But I was like, on the other hand, I was like, you know what? This will blow over. Everyone will forget about it, and ticket sales it's not gonna be the worst. And then Billy immediately proudly goes, I think ticket sales are doing just fine already. Thank you.
Love it. That's a great comeback.
Yeah, he was right there. The tickets were selling fine. There's a little bump, but the tickets would have been.
But they would have gone up. You're still gonna get.
Yeah.
All right, so I need you to help me do my job because I was so focused on seeing Fish, I didn't prepare. Tom's gonna stop by in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I got to think of the right question because I'm not probably going to get a long time to hang out.
Ask him what he's uncomfortable saying that I feed him for Undermine.
Wait, ask him what he's uncomfortable that Benji feeds him?
So
I'm going to butcher that question.
Here's how you do it though. Because the only reason I'm saying it is I want to give him a hard time. I feed him, all the lines for Undermine, and he usually just goes with it. But once he doesn't like to have an opinion about Fish.
Oh. Right? Well, that's the question. I'd be like, all right, Tom, Benji tells me you don't like to have an opinion about Fish.
No.
What'd you think of last night's show?
He loves opinions like that. But in terms of when I'm giving him narration about stuff from the 90s.
Right.
And he's like, oh, the set list of this and that, and he's like, I don't know. So ask him what he's uncomfortable with.
All right.
Maybe.
If I can remember, I will
totally what else? What's the other line of question?
I don't know. I mean, I do want to get his take on the run, right? And kind of get his perspective.
I'll tell you what he's going to say. Night 1 was fun. Night 2 last night was great.
And tonight will be even better.
Tonight will be even better.
The next
I want to figure out a way to verbalize this thought I have about the moment, the singularity when you realize the whole world around your friend and fish and everything is blowing up, and you know what I mean? Like, because there had to be a moment where it was like the band, like just like a band and a hang out a friend, but you anticipate it's gonna die, and then your trajectory can either go inward or explode. And I wonder if he's identified a moment for him where he's like,
this, they're doing it.
They're doing it. Let's go. And has, you know, does he have any regret? I don't think he'll talk about regrets.
He won't talk about regrets, but it's funny because I used to ask that question of artists when I'd interview a lot of artists. I wanted to know what point did they know that this was going to work?
Right.
You know, that it was going to work out, and what metric for them was the test? Because some bands that play arenas, you get the clubs, and they're like, we can do that. We can have a career. You can have a respectable career playing small clubs. If you're selling out clubs nationally, you can have a good life. You can make a lot of money. You know, you can do it. You're not a rock star, but it's sustainable. Look at bands like Mo, the Disco Biscuit Humphreys. They're playing theaters. They're doing great business, but they're not stars. You know. But then I turned the question on its head. Though I interviewed Rod Stewart, and I like tallied up how many albums he had sold collectively. And I like started telling him some of it, like the very first question. I was like, "You've sold this many million albums. You've done this. You've done that. You've won this many Grammys. What's your plan B if this doesn't work out?"
Like, I want to start a podcast.
Yeah. Well, he told me he told me he was gonna get into soccer, but he was too old for it now.
That's great. Yeah. He is doing TikToks I saw, so that's like.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, he has been doing a couple with his family over Christmas.
Man, I need to.
But that's awesome. That's a great question.
And so you get RJ on here too.
I guess.
I'll get you another water.
But that's why I got him.
I got RJ here too. I got to talk to him about Sugar Maple. Right, that's cool. Did
So,
they announce Undermine yet? Oh,
they did announce Undermine.
Okay, we're allowed to talk about it?
Yeah. So Undermine comes out. Oh, I don't even know the date. Theoretically comes out. Oh, yeah, a week after. Yeah.
27. Also, the return of Wook Plus Live, maybe called Wook Plus Live or undecided at this moment. So yeah, we're gonna Undermine.
And the season is Baker's Dozen.
Right, and I am actually going to be on one of the episodes. I think
you are.
I did an interview.
I think you might actually be in more than one.
Yeah, boy. Brian was like, "You want to share your opinions?" I was like, "Me? I have no opinions to share."
Me?
It was fun though.
Yeah.
So you write for this year? Write for it this year too?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I go through the interview, so I read everything that you say, and then I'm like, that goes here. I read. Yeah. We read. So I read the transcript.
My words are the transcription.
Well, here's what's funny. It's an AI transcriber, so a lot of the words that you piece it together as you're reading, and I'm like, oh, I understand what he's talking about. He's talking about trees, or he's not talking about tweed suits. Tweed suits. Yeah, tweed suits. Like the AI gets it so wrong sometimes, but you can follow along, and you're like, oh, this is what. But it leads to some pretty funny things.
We were just speaking off the cuff and bullshitting. So then the idea of that being memorialized, I mean, I guess we're memorializing it by putting shit on YouTube or like on the podcast. But for some reason, my mind thinking about it transcribed, you're like, oh shit, what did I say?
Well, not only it's transcribed, and then I put it in a script, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put Tim right here. And, you know, like Tom's gonna say this about him because we have to introduce everybody.
Right. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the conclusion of Sugar Maple. You're not RJ or Tom though. I'm doing the RJ and Tom conclusion. Well, you were a heavy part of Undermine though, so that's appropriate. You have anything else you want to talk about at Plug?
The price of gas.
I know it's crazy.
Yeah, what is it in San Francisco?
$7.
Yeah, it's $6 when I left LA.
Yeah,
it's
unbelievable.
Insane.
No, you know what? It was LA where I saw the $7 because I was staying in LA last week.
Not surprised. Yeah, I saw it like going up there. It was close.
$7.
Fucking insane.
West Hollywood, $7.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised because they can get it.
Because they can get it. Yeah.
These are marathon shows though, right? Like doing a 2-hour interview show for PhanArt, and I'm like, all right, guys, I just need a minute.
Need a commercial break.
We should have had a commercial.
What you're saying is you're Trispy. What they should have done is so yesterday, what I wasn't so Trispy I came here. Do you know this?
No.
Oh yeah, yes. You know this. I texted him and I was like, "What time?" I was like, "Yeah, I should be there too. 2:30." He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll be there too." And in my mind, it was yesterday. So when I was like, "I'll be there too," and then I was like, "I'm running late," and then I came here at like 2:30, and I like logged in. I was like, "Where is it? Where is it? Did I miss it? Did I miss
was
it?"
on the phone with fucking.
You walk in here, there's nothing.
There's nothing in there. And it's like, I'm always late. So I was like, either I'm really late or I'm a day early. Yeah, I was like, wow, it's the first time in my life I've ever been on time.
That early.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing on your off time? Like I hit up Central Park. That was fun.
Wow, you're productive, industrious.
Yeah.
I've been spondling around, just having fun with friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
like,
any after parties?
I meant to, but then I never made it. I mean, I went back, smoked a joint with some friends, and and then talking about the show, and before you know it, it's 2 a.m.
The hard part too with the after parties.
It's crazy how fast it becomes 2, 3 a.m.
Yeah,
after
2,
a
3
show.
a.m. Last night became 4 a.m. and 5 a.m.
Yeah. And then you're like, I'm not getting any sleep, but I got another show tomorrow.
I had no sleep last night. But I got solutions for that. But no sleep last night. But that's
vitamin B injections.
Yeah.
That's it.
And LSD. Always helps.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the after parties are good in idea, like as an idea and premise, but it's hard to execute.
I always want to go, but then there's two things. So what happened the first day was I intended to go. A friend of mine, Jeff Kravitz, was having his 60th birthday party at City Winery. A lot of my friends were going. My friend Jesse was spinning. The same guy that plays with Airwolf down in Mexico.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm gonna go back to my room. I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna regroup, and then I'm gonna get out. And by the time that came around, it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, oh, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm just going to bed.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And
it's hard on the multi-night runs like that. You gotta rest up a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's always better on paper. I've been wanting to get Arrow. It's always better on paper. And then this should have been yesterday because we all would have been so much more, on top of it.
Right, and been able to like have a coherent discussion.
We're day 3.
Well, and it makes it
this
hard.
feels authentic though, right?
But this feels like a really long day because we have this, and then it's the long night, and then it's a 3-set night.
So Phan Art put it on the day.
All the people watching are like, you guys are literally complaining about being in Manhattan.
Yeah,
or getting to see fish.
Getting to see fish. So a cool little like Phan Art event, and then getting to have 3 days of fish. But it's day 3 already, and I feel like we're a meme now. Like the day 1, day 3 memes, like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Come in all fresh and today.
Yeah.
I feel like my mind can handle whatever the run is minus 1 day. But like for Bakers, I did 12 shows and I was fine. But by night 13, I was like, I'm so exhausted, I couldn't do another day. Right, but if it's a 4-night run, I can do 3 nights. By night 4, I'm like, oh man, I'm done.
Yeah.
But like, what is the difference? Because I did literally 3 times more shows.
Yeah.
During the
Because
Bakers,
days
like
off.
your mind is just...
But there are days off. That's the difference.
Oh, but were there though? Like I was really working it up. I was like sleeping on like floors and like going from one Wook tribe to the next.
Yeah.
Like I just think your mind gives you enough to get to the finish line and nothing more.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very much a mental game too. You're like, all right, I gotta get through today. I don't want to go too big because I still got tomorrow, but I gotta get through today. It's like one day at a time, and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, man, today's gonna be rough, and I still got tomorrow, but I gotta get through today. I just gotta.
You're in tomorrow too, right?
As what?
You're in there tomorrow, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's so weird, and I'm not trying to like put down anybody. Like I get everybody has different circumstances and stuff, but when you yourself are so entwined on like you just see a run, and you talk to people like, oh, I'm only here for tonight. It's not like it's good for you, but it's just so foreign.
It's weird. It's weird to me. And another thing, and this is newer in my circles, but I know a few friends of mine who are like, they took last night off, right? And it's like, why? And because of what we're talking about, we're getting old, and I think that's what it is. But they're like, I want to use all my energy, and they're working from home, working from the hotel today, and so they're like, I want to have all my energy for the first show, and then the final show.
Yeah.
So they took off last night. That's foreign to me. I'm like, you're in New York, you're at a hotel room, you're walking distance in Madison Square Garden. how can you miss it? I understand taking it easy.
Right.
You know, take it easy. You know, take a few hits of a joint and don't drink.
Don't drink or drug per day. Get a lot of sleep and hydrate.
Well, that was us last night because I originally only had first night tickets and tonight tickets, so we didn't have last night yet. So yesterday we were kind of making that decision, and we were like, well, we can go see the Music Man tonight instead since we're in town, or should we just get tickets and see the show? We went online and ended up getting like 200 level row one, like right on the thing, like the best seats I had in there. And like ended up going. And after the show, my fiance was like, would you have been pissed if we had done the Music Man tonight? I was like, yes, this is one of those shows that I would not want to miss. Like, it was like when we were in Vegas when we talked about going to Gaga instead of doing one of the Halloween nights, and it was the Animal set, and I was like, I'd have been furious if I had missed it.
Yeah, exactly right.
So it's like one of those things where it's definite FOMO, but there's other things going on where you kind of lay that down, but then at the end, you're like, I got to miss a fish. Like, I'm here for a fish. So it's the same thing with tomorrow night. I don't have tickets yet, but I'm like, am I going to be alive tomorrow to even go? You know?
Yeah,
but
you gotta
like,
go.
But it's like, I will be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, you know, of course, you have to. So.
It's a weird, intense addiction that we have,
It is.
but I think it's also very easy to understand if you've done it. Even the people that don't do it get why the people that do it do it. Like, you're like, oh yeah, and you know, like you just have to. Everybody has their line, what they're willing to do and want to do. And just for some of us, it's a little bit more than
it was
we
like
can afford.
My best friend in college, I'll never forget. His mom came down. I can visualize the whole scene. We were at his parents' house. It was during like spring break in college, and we were like labeling fish tapes in his living room. You know, like hand labeling cassettes. And his mom goes, "Don't you think that you're way too into this band?" And he goes, "Mom's. Sometimes I realize I'm not into them nearly as much as I need to be.
Some other people.
Yeah, not nearly as much as I need to be.
Right.
You know, like, yeah.
My mom loves it because it brings the family together. Like, we go, like with Phil and Charleston, we're going to see the family because of fish.
Yeah.
But we're all, you know what I mean? So it's like, we want to travel without this.
Right.
So like we're seeing my wife's brother this weekend, and like he's getting to see my daughter. All this is happening because we go on tour travel.
Same boat. Like Alex's family's from here, so like it's a great excuse to be like, "Hey, Fish is playing in New York. We'll go back and see your family. Let's go." So it's like we both people we want.
Play the game.
Exactly.
You got it.
You got to. It's great though. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm pumped for it. You know what though? This is not exhausting right now. Hanging out, talking about fish, chilling, hydrated.
This is what we'll be doing at a bar right now anyway. Just rehashing the show, talking about everything.
And I feel really good. I have really good energy. I'm really excited for tonight. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Where are you at in the venue?
I'm on the floor.
Have you been on the floor all night?
I have been. The last 2 nights I won the lottery, so I was up front. So now tonight I'm flying blind.
How was the lottery situation and getting in it?
It was good. If you did the steps, it was time consuming.
Okay.
You know, you get there at 5, and you get there at 5.
And they line you up, and they give you numbers
They line
already.
you up in order, and then you go. And so the first night I was like 3-4 rows behind Trey on the floor, which was amazing. And then last night I was off to the side, but it was also amazing.
That's awesome. So then they just walk you in an order, and you just get wherever you want to go.
You just go wherever
and then
you
after that initial group is in, then what do they do? Like after you guys are in, like the lottery winners, then they open it up to the other early crowd.
Yeah.
And so after you guys are in, then the early people,
Then the other early people come in, and then the rest of everyone else.
After that, gotcha. That's cool. I'm glad they did it. I think it's how's the energy down there since they've done that? Is it a different vibe down there? Is it
It's the same energy, yeah, but it's really good.
Is it just different faces though?
Different faces, yeah.
That's cool.
You need diversity up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I like that change because every show
is the same people in the front row.
I've never been on the front row.
But you see it in all the webcasts. It's that same front row.
Yeah.
I need somebody though, and this sounds silly, but I need somebody to be like my shaman. Right? Like, because I'm not a floor guy, and I've never been on the rail. Like, I'm always back by the soundboard or further, but I want to do it. But I need somebody like a guide. Like, this is where you go to get tickets, and this is how you get. You know
now,
what I mean?
now it's so even though. Just sign up for the pre-show.
Yeah, now
lottery
you just
thing.
I feel like
Winning,
there's
you're
like
done.
you needed to like know a certain person and do a rain dance, and then
Previously-
wait in this field for 12 hours.
Right.
And get a vision from the tree, and then
Just call Maggie. Maggie will
my
Sherpa
shaman.
you. Yes.
Previously, you definitely needed to have a shaman. Now, Now
Right.
I feel like
like it's a little bit more like you can do it on your own.
Yeah,
and you can have one guest with you, right? So like that, there you go. That makes it easy. So
Next time we're at a show together and you can
I'll
bring
do
a
it.
guest,
I'll do it.
just say.
Yeah. I'll be here. I'll be here, Sherpa.
Sherpa, not shaman.
Sherpa. Well, I can't.
Shaman.
I can't. No. You do need a floor shaman. I can't be a floor shaman.
There's somebody
but I
with
can
that.
be a Sherpa.
There's somebody with that
I
accent.
still have a few more levels to go before I can be a.
elevate to a shaman.
I am a humble Sherpa.
Yeah.
Sherpa.
I feel like my facial hair needs to be like at least this long to do
Exactly.
and like my eyes need to be a little bit wider.
I like my spot though. I'm up in like 210 or whatever, but I'm below the bridge, so the audio is perfect. I can see everyone in the room dancing, right? So as long as everybody's dancing and not talking, and you get the energy of the room and the audio is good and you see the full lights, for me it's okay. I like seeing the celebration.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes I get it, like being on the floor. I'm not downing that at all. I can get why that's incredible. But I'm just saying there is something to be said about seeing the whole group
No, it's a lot of fun
move
watching
together and the energy
feeling that.
generate
Yeah.
like that.
It's a lot of fun feeling that vibe off of there, but then again, it's also a lot of fun being in that and providing that energy, like being the people that are doing that. Like it goes both ways. It's something you should experience. It is a lot of fun. Like it's there's a time and place for the floor, and there's a time and place sometimes for seats. You know,
100%.
So
Do you need to call someone back? I feel bad. I saw your line though.
Oh yeah, I need to call Billy back.
live on the air, Billy Kreuzman is calling.
What time is it? It's 2:20. Yeah, I can.
Wait, 3:20.
3:20. Oh yeah, it's 3:20.
3:20. Yeah, it's 3:20.
Yeah, you have Tom and RJ coming out.
Yes,
Yeah, I
it
gotta
should be.
go down there.
Go down there and grab them. They're busy.
Okay, I'll do the
Hawking
handoff.
merch.
Yeah, I know they're hogging.
Do me a favor. Walk down to Osiris and be like, "Yo, RJ, get your ass down there."
I'll do that right now. I'll do the handoff. Hey guys.
Dude, awesome, Benji.
Awesome
Always a
talking to you.
pleasure talking to you.
Always a
man.
pleasure, man.
Good seeing you.
I always love you guys.
If you're out later, message me. Maybe we'll not meet up.
And
I would
then
love
next
that.
time you're down in LA, hit me up. And
Yeah,
I'm in Frisco, I'll hit you up.
Awesome.
We'll hang
Yeah,
out,
that'd be
definitely.
great. Yeah,
Cool,
that'd be
man.
great.
Definitely.
Cool. I'll get RJ and Tom over here. I'll get RJ and RJ will get Tom.
There you
Yeah,
go. Perfect.
they don't need to rush.
Take care, brother. Have a good show tonight.
Yeah, you too.
Right on. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Is this anybody's?
I'm gonna head out and like go get something.
All right. I know.
You aren't gonna have
Is that you?
no one out here, right?
Okay. Yes, yeah. Get in here. I just wasn't sure if somebody left it or whose that was.
Oh yeah, it's for just gotta indoctrinate the youth.
There you go. Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think Kev wanted to come on, but he just left.
He'll be back. He's fine.
Hey guys, it's me, Kev.
Kev, when you come back, when you rewatch this, just know I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kick you out.
I'm sorry too. I am. All right, let's give away some shit. So, all right, we're gonna do some trivia in the chat, y'all. So those of you commenting on YouTube, for a chance to win 2 tickets to Goose at Red Rocks. I know it's not fish. Save your comments. 2 tickets to Goose at Red Rocks in the chat on YouTube. I'm going to give you this trivia question. There is a song by Fish about a person with a lumpy head. This person with a lumpy head went to the same high school as me. And I need to know where that high school is, what it's called.
That's a good
Wait, what was
question.
the question?
The person with a lumpy head went to the same high school as me.
Nobody's gonna know this.
Somebody better be Googling it right now.
Right.
In the chat.
So, Andrew, you're right with the person. But where did this person go to high school?
High school. I know you went to college. But I don't know where you went to high school.
You know? If you know, you know.
Somebody better be Wikipedia Greg Knight right now.
Turns out we don't have any tickets left, though.
Hey.
Not Princeton Day School, although I can.
Kick T up.
Oh yeah. Come here, give me 5. Come back in 5.
I'll let the chat. I'm going to let the chat.
You
think?
I'm letting the chat marinate right now. If somebody gets it right, you win tickets. Andrew, you're closest.
And like and subscribe. If nobody gets it right, we'll pick somebody random.
Stay here, Brad. Quick, stay here. Take my seat. Okay, take my seat.
Changing of the guard.
We'll hang out one of these days. One of these, yeah.
There's a bar attached to the.
All right, so
They sell alcohol.
Yeah.
They sell alcohol.
interestingly, Karini's brother was the janitor at the high school. And so, like, whenever, like, you know.
Was it Princeton Day School?
It was not. It was
that's
not.
what I was thinking.
So, whenever there was like a cleanup in the science wing, they'd be like, Karini to, the science wing, and
You might have to come up with a backup question. Nobody gets it. Do you have a trivia question that could be the backup question?
I have a trivia question about fish.
Yeah.
What is the most played song to close the second set all time of Fish?
I like that.
All right, so what did you think about last night? Have we talked yet?
I know we haven't talked at all. I like the I Know You Rider jam they did either after Chalk Dust. I like the Chalk Dust, the way they're finishing it.
Yeah.
And then I think it started in Hershey last year. Chalk Dust ended and they went into a jam, and now that's the rearrangement of it.
I kind of like the extended intro.
Yeah.
I do. But, like, why not just balls to the wall jam?
Right, and then they went into the tweezer. The tweezer was fun. It was a really good set.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to end at About to Run, and then I thought it was going to end in Harry Hood, and then I was like, well, they did Character Zero. It should end here, but it probably is.
Right. I couldn't remember the name of About to Run. I was talking to someone on Wednesday who swore up and down that it was Born to Run. And I'm like, it's definitely not Born to Run.
About to Run.
It's About to Run.
Right.
Born to Run seems a little cheesy.
Speaking of Born to Run, Tom Marshall did Born to Run once with Fish.
Yeah, it's and so that like got me to thinking about when Springsteen sat in with Fish in 09 at Phan Art.
And the Glory Days.
Into Glory Days, Mustang Sally. Me too.
That was my first show.
Really?
Wow.
That was my one of that Bonner. Was my first show.
That was my third show. My first
Hey.
one was Fenway 09.
Yeah.
And I remember I waited like all day at Rue to be on the rail for this set. And I kind of feel like Springsteen just like, the chemistry was weird after. He only knew Trey's name.
Right.
So like,
It was
like,
awkward.
play me a solo,
But
Mr.
then
Keyboard
Trey
Man.
was probably like, dude, you have to come out and play with us,
100%.
man. You're Bruce Springsteen. You
Yeah.
got Kenny Rogers to come out and play with us there.
It's super cool. In
You can't
retrospect.
get those songs on Live Fish.
Because
Bruce won't release it. Mustang Sally.
Right.
What else did they
I have a
play?
copy if you want.
You got the taper version, but you can't get the studio,
The
like
soundboard.
the soundboard version.
Right.
Right.
Huh.
Didn't they rock out one of the songs like Glory Days for like 20 minutes?
Glory Days was
I was pretty fucked up then, so I don't remember.
Yeah, that was the time. I also went to Knoxville on 09, which was like one of the best shows of that tour that I saw.
I liked that year, and obviously, it was new to me, but it was a lot of number lines, as I remember. I did for like 2 or 3 years. I just remember getting number line at every show and being like,
See, I only saw Merriweather in 2009, and I don't think they did number line that night.
No, yeah. Those were good
It was
shows.
my lucky
though.
night.
Those were good shows.
Well, I had kids at that point, so
Got it.
it was all good. I love about
It was not Stuyvesant High.
Stewie Vezin.
Stewie V.
I really think that About to Run is the best cutoff.
Yeah.
Goes to the part. The lyric is the best.
Yeah.
It makes sense outside of the context of the album.
Right. Thank you. So, in AC, Kevin and I, Andrew, you're on the right track. Kevin and I ran into each other in AC. We were like sitting on the sand.
All right, Kev or Greg.
I'll get up.
All right, chat. Pipe down. My boss is here. If you haven't checked out Great Beyond podcast.
This is the most Wook setup.
Hey,
Tom,
what the hell's up? Good to see you, man. How are you? I didn't know you were part of this Wook party. Hey, my man. How are you? Great to see you. Holy shit.
We're a little tight in here.
It's all right.
We didn't want to take up too much of the vendor space, so we got tucked away here.
I know the feeling.
You guys have a great table.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm just, I feel more comfortable with this.
It's a prop, by the way. The room might should pick it up.
So Tom,
Hello.
tell us a little bit about the Great Beyond and why they're the bad boys of Osiris. Yeah.
Sure.
So we're really, really happy to have you guys on. And, the Goose connection to Osiris seemed like kind of organic. I don't think Goose was on every single person's tongue, like not giving us any credit, but I just think we happened to find you right as everyone else was finding you. And
we were following you around.
Well, and you guys had, you guys exploded like almost right after that. It made us look smart, right? That we did that thing.
Great move.
And yet, and also, I don't say yes to singing music with a lot of people, but I knew that Rick and Peter could do the harmony for Brian and Robert flawlessly, and they did.
Oh, yeah.
And I really enjoyed doing that. Like if Paige were to say, "Hey Tom, do you want to do some Fish songs with me?" I would say yes.
Sure.
But if it's like a random band,
Right.
and I get this all the time, it's like, "Tom, will you come up and do a song with me?"
I don't want to do that.
No, thank you.
Especially these days, somebody's going to be recording it, probably multiple people. It'll be out there forever. Right? It's not just going to be lost at a bar.
And it'll probably be like on a night that I, like now that I'm drinking. And it's like,
cheers to that.
No, we'll television. Cheers, All right, so I have only two things I wanted to talk to you about. One is going to be about Sugar Maple, and that's really exciting. I want to put that to the back half. The other question, and I was talking about this earlier, was in my mind there was a singular moment, I'm hoping, and if I'm far off, maybe divert into a different conversation, but where you thought Fish could have either had a path of closing down and being confined, right? So in college or coming out when they were doing clubs and you were like, okay, this is fun, we're doing it. Was there a moment where you knew the path was going to open up and have exponential growth and you'd be in New York and Manhattan for the 70th whatever show at MSG, or it was going to go down? What was that moment where you felt like, all right, this, my buddy and my songs is going to be this?
I'm able to honestly answer that by telling you a story about my mom. I was in 10th grade. Trey had just left for a different school. So we'd been together like 8th, 9th, 10th grade, and then he, at the end of that, went to Taft. And so he's got like his Princeton friends, and he's got his Taft friends, and then he went to college in Vermont.
Right.
But at the time, so the end of 10th grade, I was in this very serious, like, I want to be a musician thing, to my mom's like dismay and my dad's dismay, because my dad's like an engineer.
Right.
Like, you got to be a computer scientist, or you have to be an electrical engineer. My mom's like, just whatever my dad says.
Right, just go with it.
Right, and yet
that's why you went into that.
And I was displaying like tendencies to write songs and have fun and smoke pot and all that stuff.
Right.
So my mom finally, like, she broke first, and she's like, all right, if you're gonna do this music thing, which of any of your friends could possibly make it?
Yeah.
And I, without even hesitating,
You actually had a friend that you could make.
without even hesitating, I said Trey, and she's like, stick with him then.
Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah, that's
So 10th grade, that was 1979. That was 1980.
Wow.
Yeah.
So before anybody else, really, except for maybe Trey and
Yeah.
You know.
Well, back in 1980, so Trey was doing things back then.
Right.
Like, we'd like come to his house where he'd be like, he'd never not have a guitar in his hand,
Right.
ever.
Just
He would
walking
answer
around,
the
running
phone and sing you
his answer of the conversation is really fucking annoying. But he never ever stopped. So my friend Dobbs and I would go to his house to write music and smoke pot and write songs like Iculus or Little Squirrel, which just came public. I don't know if you know that one.
No.
It just went public. That's like, hello, how are you? We hope you have a good time.
Right.
Came from that.
Yeah.
So Dobbs and I would like have to sometimes break in because Trey would be just like shredding to his Little Morley amp, Mesa Boogie amp. And we'd have to find our way to his house. So we'd sometimes like appear when he wasn't expecting us. And frequently we'd find him doing something where we could tell he was practicing to be a rock star. Sure. And one of them it was like his signature move at the time, in front of a fucking mirror, bouncing up and down like he was on a trampoline.
Right.
And he had hair down to his ass
And he
back
saw
then.
it in his head probably exactly what it was going to
And
be.
he was in front of 30, 40,000 people. And we were looking at a dude in his basement like jumping up and down like a loser.
Sure. I mean, you can have, in your mind, you can see Trey tonight doing that, and you have the actual footage in your mind of that trance, the montage.
Oh, no
right?
question.
I wish somebody could have gotten that on film.
Oh my God!
So
I
that
know.
you could share like young Trey bouncing in front of a mirror, opening up to fish selling on MSG.
Yeah.
Sure.
It would have been the same montage. It would have been exactly the same
Right,
move.
the move.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's 25,000 people doing it with you.
Another time I walked in on him, and it wasn't as romantic. It was, he was in the kitchen, which is a weird place for him. And the house was silent, and he wasn't answering.
Yeah.
And I was like, Trey, but he for reasons that will become evident, he didn't want me to find him.
Right.
So I was like walking around like, he's not in the basement, he's not in the practice room, he's not over here, he's not up here, he's not up here. So I finally just decided to walk into the kitchen and see if his dad had any beer.
Yeah.
And I walked to the kitchen, and Trey fucking flipped out on me. He's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" I was like, "What?" I was like, almost fell down. Like, "What?" And he's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And it turned out he was like fishing in the garbage disposal for a spoon, and he was worried, even though it was like 30 feet away from me, that I would like go and turn it on while his hand was in there. And
his hands are worth more than any.
Well, he knew it back then.
Right.
Like he said, my hands are my life. Like I'm not gonna. My hands are
100% accurate. Do you think there's any gems hidden from the time period of high school, college that disappeared that might show back up one day?
Yes.
There's I imagine there's just a treasure trove, and it's just a matter of time or interest of like,
yes,
let's pull that out.
I mean, that's hello, how are you?
Right. Well, I just happened. And
that would be the example.
Tip of the iceberg,
maybe. And then Little Squirrel was like just a bunch of us sitting around smoking a lot of weed.
Yeah.
Entertaining each other with the tale of some squirrel or something. But now when you listen to it, it's actually pretty funny.
And honestly, they're doing the exact same thing. There's just 25,000 people smoking weed instead of that.
Right. No, but it's like Fish was born of fun and laughing and trying to make the other guy laugh.
Right.
The song Wilson was just me and Aaron Wolf, who made it into the Gamehenge saga as Aaron Wolf. But anyway, Aaron Wolf and I wrote down the lyrics to Wilson, and I coined the term Gamehenge, by the way, at the time without a D, because I have the original manuscript, and Aaron and I would go around and sing it to our high school pals, and Aaron would inevitably go, "You get it?" And everyone was like, "Fuck no, I don't know how to get it." Trey said, "Do I get it? It's phenomenal. Can I make it into a song?" And we're like, "This guy gets it." Sure. And that became Wilson.
And that's so important with your friends.
Thanks. Thank you, man.
How long do you think you practiced that line? Is that really an impromptu? He's like, "Hey, tell Marshall over there, I'm going to offer a baklava."
Well, I've said yes the last 4 times. He said, yeah. So
he's actually following you. It's good for business. We were just talking about something. I can't remember.
Well, I want to talk about why Osiris doesn't have past apps, and we can look to us. Like we need more baklava at our functions.
I agree.
I'm going to abandon that train of thought we were on because it left without me. So we're going to get into a new line of thinking here. I need to know, is Epitaph coming on this run or this summer? Do you have any inside information? Because last time I talked to you on the show was the first time I had heard this intro to Epitaph, and it got me very excited for it. And it hasn't come out yet, right? We haven't heard it.
If it were up to me, it would come out. I mean, they recorded it for Sigma Oasis.
Right, which was April a year ago or 2 years ago?
Dose.
I suffer from COVID here. I'm sorry.
Me too. I don't know time. I can't do times or dates, but it was more than a year ago, so I'm gonna go with 2.
Yeah.
But no, they recorded it in its entirety. They just didn't like the version.
Does he talk to you about what he's gonna play at all? So like, do you have a sense of like, hey, coming back? Or?
The reason I nodded to that, which actually I should have shaken my head because he doesn't, but every now and then, if like he'll call me sometimes at noon, like at Lake Tahoe, and he'll go, Tom, what do you want to hear? And I'll give him I'll ask my friends hold on, what's your track like? Camel Walk, blah 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 blah. He did all 4 of them in a row that my friends gave him. So sometimes I have that magical thing, and all my friends think I'm a hero.
And then when you see people commenting the next day, like, that was a great set list, you can just be like, you're welcome.
Yeah, that was me.
It's a nice show curated by Tom Marshall.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, but no, I have no idea about Epitaph. If I had to guess, I would say it's kind of been consigned to them. Maybe we'll deal with that sometime when we're a lot older.
If I can become influencer status at some point and get enough people to sign a petition to bring in Epitaph, Trey will still ignore it and do whatever he wants.
I think we're influencer status now. Let's get the petition going.
Everybody go on Twitter, do hashtag Epitaph now.
We should talk about Susie. Talk about Susie and the context.
You were with Susie last night, right?
Funny thing happened. So, Dude of Life, so we're in the Trey family section.
Right.
And it's Ernie and Geneva, Trey's dad and stepmom. And then there's their friends in a row. And then it's us, always row 3 of section 108. And I usually will have 4 or 6 seats. And behind me is the dude, Steve Pollard, and his friends. And he's usually got, 5 friends. So it's six of the dude's pals. This woman, Susie Greenberg, came in, and the first thing, Steve made a beeline to me. And he's like, Tom, this is the actual Susie Greenberg. I'm like, hi, how are you? And he snapped a photo of me and her right there. Since today, I've gotten the credit for bringing Susie Greenberg to
Right, well, because that picture's the only picture everybody saw.
It's unbelievable. Right. So anyway, I accept full credit for it.
Sure. I don't know the story behind, if there was an acquaintance.
So what really happened was Steve, Dude of Life, I think in Taft, went out with Susie Greenberg, who is a real person.
Right.
They broke up after sort of a couple miserable...
I was going to say, it sounds like an ugly breakup just based on the lyrics.
It didn't work out too well.
I mean, he calls her a slot machine.
And
It must have been awkward watching this, and the entire crowd at Madison Square Garden's like, slot machine, like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. No, that's a different Susie. He's not talking about you.
I feel that she didn't really listen carefully to the lyrics because she was smiling so much.
Yeah, no,
so,
that's cool.
Yeah. So
where
anyway,
has she been?
Right.
This time.
No, that's a great question.
Looney Bin, probably.
She might be in the Looney Bin. Yeah. Exactly. No, honestly, I don't know a whole lot about that story, and I accept all the credit, but I get none of the blame.
Well, it resulted in a cool opening to the show, I felt. I think starting the night with Susie.
I also like how Trey ended it. It's like, all right, everybody, see you. Good night. That was it. That's all we wanted.
Energy, though. The energy, Trey should command more energy when he walks out. We're going to need everyone to sing. People are really feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That room has more energy, I think, than most venues does. Right? And also the excitement of New Year's Eve in April, New York being back home, everything adds up. The energy is through the roof. All right, I want to talk about Sugar Maple, though, because this is something new that I had never heard. Not just in our world, the jam world, but in general, the audio story tied with it's like 4D. Right, but it's not video, but with the promotions. No, it's multi-dimensional.
4D without the visual aspect.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going some. No, but there's the beer promotions, right, and the posters and the songs, the original music and the artists, and it's a very cool thing.
It's a
and I'm butchering it. I'm sorry. I had you on, and I'm just
not
like,
at all. Like right now, we have a sugar maple table. We're selling the art of Ryan Kerrigan, who made a new poster for every single episode. So I have my pitch down. If you want to hear my pitch,
yeah, you're gonna do it way better than I did.
All right. Well, basically, we're Osiris, me and RJ, and this is our first fiction podcast. It's about a guitar. It stars Fred Savage. Fred Savage is our
excellent performance, by the way.
Yeah, Fred Savage is he's our narrator, and he's in every episode. And he's basically tracking a guitar down that was once owned by his dad. And he noticed that every person he finds in history that since owns this guitar writes a song and has their life changed in some unusual way. And the guys that wrote it, RJ and I came up with the concept, but we rapidly gave the reins to these professional writers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Moxon and Ben Colmery. He's the author of The Revisionaries. It's a great book. They sort of grew up on Lost, and so
it has that kind of feel to it.
It has sort of a Losty feel, like things don't quite seem right. And that's kind of like you get an uneasy feeling, and that's on purpose.
I guess it's not a spoiler since it was earlier on, but you don't get that right away. But then when you talk about the wood growing into the guitar, that's when it's like the smoke monster shows up for the first time, Greg, because you start off with like the plane landing on the beach, and you're like, oh, it's a survival show.
But then there's
you get like, is this wood growing?
Right.
Oh
my God, we didn't put this together.
It's really cool. It's ambitious though, right? Like, are you guys nervous a little bit?
Oh, man.
Maybe you're past the nerve part.
So I've been involved in big projects, like when I used to work corporate, maybe 1,000 people for this one piece of software by AT&T, where I was like a tiny cog. This is the biggest thing I've been near the top. Biggest. Like at any point, there's like, I think we had maybe 50 actors.
Yeah.
Fred Savage alone, we had to get him talking for every single one, and he's the busiest person in the world because he just came out with Wonder Years Part 2.
Yeah.
And so that was sort of nerve-wracking. Don Hart and I had to piece together all the music. Every episode has original music.
Yeah.
And so by the end, when we release the soundtrack, it's going to have 17 original songs. And Trey wrote one of the songs, which is cool.
Yeah, that's coming in the last episode, right?
Yes.
That's very cool.
Fred came to the show Wednesday, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What was like? I'm kind of wondering, was he deeply invested in this scene?
Yes. So Fred and I hung out a lot. Fred caught like Fish Peak 1.
Yep.
Fred readily will admit that because of having kids, he has 3 kids, and his career, that he missed Fish 3.0 entirely.
Sure.
So he completely missed 3.0. But he got 1, 2,
and now 4.
He's strapped in for 4.
Love it. I love it.
I felt the last 2 nights that they've really solidified and memorialized that 4.0 sound, right? Because we had the tour back-to-back summer and fall, where they had a new sound and there was a consistency to it. But I wasn't sure then when taking a break, is it going to go somewhere else or are we going to still be there?
RJ will tell you 4.0 is all about Fish not having to like slosh around for a jam in a perfect jam for a long time. They know each other so well that they can just get to a perfect jam fast.
Yeah.
And they do. And that's like, we don't have to have 28 minutes, although it's fun. Sure. We have 28 higher quality minutes these days. That's the way I look at it. RJ looks at it. But I think they know each other so well, they can play Fish, the instrument, better than they could in the past. It's kind of like, and I got the verbatim from RJ. So.
It feels like the preconceived notions of what they're supposed to do are gone, and they're not. There is no supposed to.
Right.
They're just like, this is what I want to do, and like we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to like focus on a conversation when there's all this.
It's incredible.
I love it.
Hope the mic picked up anything.
Oh yeah. People seem to be fine. They're happy about it.
Hey people.
So I posed a trivia question. Bruce Red Rocks tickets on the line.
I have no idea.
You're eligible to
what
win. So Pete Carini went to the same high school as I did.
Oh.
Do you know where this high school is?
No.
Greg, I think we need an easier trivia.
We need to know. I planned this for weeks.
Carini was always like the man. We hung out all the time. He was great, fantastic person. I was sad to see him not appear after 3.0 started.
Sure. Well, here's a hint. His parents own a berry farm It exists.
Maine.
It's their namesake.
Are you looking for anything tonight, like song-wise? Is there anything you want to hear?
I never do.
Yeah. I imagine at that point you don't really chase stuff, right?
No, I'm not chasing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I chase the very newest stuff.
Yeah.
Like if Trey and I have just written like 3 or 4 songs, and he's like said that these have crossed the barrier from Trey Tom songs to maybe Fish songs.
Right.
Then I'll chase those.
Right. No,
there is one of those.
I think that
there's a new one of those that could be out there.
That would be cool. What's it called? You allowed to say?
I don't know.
It
begins with an A. A-R.
Chad, figure it out. You could get Goose tickets.
A-R-I. 4 syllables.
I'm not going to be able to do this live, but I'll think about it.
So you can answer either one. Maybe win Goose tickets at Red Rocks. Good luck.
What changed that chasing thing for me was Baker's. And obviously you probably never had it because you saw so many shows being so close. But after the Baker's does it, and for those of us who did all 13, you got the whole run, so you were no longer chasing things. And that's my segue. The last thing I'm going to ask you about is Undermine's coming out, and this year you guys are focusing on Baker's Dozen.
Yep.
That's what, that's Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's going to premiere.
Yeah.
So
the way that Undermine works these days for me is Benji writes
he was
it.
on here about 20 minutes ago.
Here. Benji writes it, and then it goes to the reviewers, which is basically RJ, Brian, and Matt, I think. And then it comes to me, and I'm like ready to read it. This time I had lots of things that didn't coincide. Like normally Benji's like spot on. Like I'm totally happy to read this the way it is. I wasn't this time.
He wanted me to ask you about the lines that you didn't like.
Oh, it was just.
And I didn't understand what you were saying, but you alluded to it naturally. So
well, it had to do with. It really had to do with episode 3, which is about set list construction. The way Benji pieced together stuff that I was supposed to say as fact is stuff that I never knew that Trey verified as fact.
Right.
However, RJ said like a lot of this came from maybe like the Fish book in 1990 or whatever, or like the early 90s, and some of this came from other interviews that I personally hadn't heard. But it was almost like I was like, you know what, dude, I don't feel comfortable saying it because I don't know if it's true.
Right.
Tom Marshall says
there's an ethos there. There's an authority.
Tom says it about Trey, and I'm talking like fact about set list. So I said, let's turn this more into this is a theory, or this is based upon research that blah, blah, blah compiled.
Right.
So we handled it that way. Yeah.
I'm excited to hear it. I think that's a really smart move, right? Because like 97, we have a big anniversary, and you could have gone a very old, but you've done the first 2 seasons have been more, 1.0 and spread out. So I think it's very cool to go and focus at this, 2017.
And then right on the heels of it comes I don't know if it's a secret, but I'll tell you, right on the heels of Baker's Dozen, Undermine's going to be focusing on the water wheel.
Perfect.
And it'll be cool. And it might not be Undermine, it might just be our team.
Right.
This might be more like a Fish collaboration, but that might be a secret.
Well,
forget what you heard the last 30 seconds.
There's only like a couple dozen people.
Okay.
It's fine. We're not Osiris big, so you're fine.
We've got a winner. We've got a winner. Andrew Duddy.
You did it.
Glastonbury High.
That was my second guess.
That's okay.
Andrew, congratulations. I think you're going to see
Andrew,
Goose.
you won Goose Red Rocks tickets.
I'm going to take off.
Yeah. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you very much.
It's been awesome.
Really nice to see you. Thanks, Greg. Thank you very much. Yeah, really good to see you. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. It's Glastonbury High is the answer. Oh, they already
Yeah. Thanks, Don. That was awesome. That's so much fun.
All right. Andrew, thanks for sticking with us.
Skoy,
come on.
All right.
I'm gonna swap out.
Actually, yeah, let's help me.
Swap out. Yeah,
We're gonna do a full changing of the guard.
It's fucking hot back here. Oh, for sure. Oh man.
And then we're going to get food.
Hey,
What's up, everybody? I'm sure everyone's talked about everything that they needed to already. Fish is a really, really good band, and I'm just excited to be here.
What's up?
Here we go.
What's
Do I
up?
need to hold this? Can people hear me?
I think you can talk into this one.
Yeah, they went all out.
Last night, did you hear the I Know You Rider jam?
No.
In either the Jam After Chalk Dust or in the Tweezer Jam, they started playing. Trey played this chord progression.
No.
That sounded like the thing from China in the Rider. That dance.
Are you gonna hit a Biz Archive about it?
No, I'm not. Physics, no.
Is he here? He's probably here
I
somewhere.
saw him last night at Neighbor.
Okay. Oh, that was last night?
Yes, Neighbor was
Fuck, we didn't make that either, dude.
Yes, Neighbor was so worth it. They have this one song that so sounds like Squeeze, and I love
Squeeze?
Yes. You remember Squeeze?
No. Squeeze. Oh, the band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Muscles in Bed and all that. This song had the whole rhythm
at all.
I
Big finale. You know, I didn't want to do this with Tom because it would have been really inappropriate. But with you guys, it's like, hey! It was fun, man. It was a very relaxed conversation.
Did you ask him about Smegma?
No, I did not.
Were we supposed to ask him about Epitaph?
I asked him about Epitaph. It's not sure when it's going to come
But
out.
we know about Epitaph because The Lot, Season 1.
Oh, plug!
Nobody's going to go back.
You know what's weird is I keep looking here and
Yes, look up at the camera.
It's sitting on a cardboard box.
Hey,
come
we haven't
on.
opened. Can we open it?
Yeah, let's
open
open up.
Grab the box, Squig.
look at this guy.
Oh, we got to kick you guys out.
Look at this guy.
Oh no, RJ's here.
I want to try this beer. Is
Oh,
it
we are
good?
gonna go.
Yo, you have some? And of course you're rocking that.
We're
Is someone
having
selling that?
we're switching everything
No,
over right
this one.
now. What's going on is Skoy and everybody are talking to RJ, but not on the mic.
Someone actually printed that. I would buy one of those.
And there's Travis.
We are definitely live.
There he is.
Awesome. We'll clear space. All right.
Okay, so
RJ is not coming
I'm
on.
gonna try and be
yes,
professional
yes,
first.
yes.
Well, are these actually boom mics? Like I can talk and they can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to get
I'm gonna
away.
be
So you
professional
don't want to
for a hot
lean
minute.
in.
Yeah.
Figure out
Oh, we're
who's
gonna move.
going.
I'll go.
So, all right. So far, things have been fucking mind blowing. Last night, obviously, I think a bunch of people are gonna like fluff heavier because you got that tweezer and hood and all this stuff. I just really, it's just, I love being here to be with all these people is the main thing. I love all these people. Oh, where the fuck did you get that?
Some girl out front handed it to me. She said, "You want a tweezer thing for your
That's
car?"
incredible.
Dude,
I don't have
Fuck.
a car.
That's incredible.
they posted that shit somewhere on Twitter.
I love it. I love it.
Did you get her info or anything? God damn it,
not.
Kat. Jesus Christ.
I said, "Hey, thank you." Brad, what can you do? Brad, what are you doing, man?
Let's be honest. Like, oh, yeah, no, you're not wrong. Okay, I'm going to be clear really quickly. Reba is still a better song.
Champion.
But,
Ghost. Ghost.
last night's Ghost was that fucking good.
They nailed the fucking ending.
Yeah.
When they went, the whole band was on point and
On
boom,
fucking point.
Most of the time, it's a fucking train wreck. when you
But
come
even
to
the
end.
dude, the stash and the Reba from the other night were fucking insane.
No, that Reba was a mess, dude.
No!
That Reba was a mess. They
Oh, well,
did
I haven't
not
gone back
play
and
it.
re-listened, but remember, I'm going to stand anyways.
Which one of you is going to stay on with RJ?
I'll stay on for a minute.
You want to stay on? You guys have to fight then.
No, I'm not going to fight. Wherever.
You want us to
RJ
fight
comes
on air?
back,
When he comes back.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Explain your shirt. What? Llama, you talking to me?
yeah, it's less special.
They're special. It's the only metal jam band out there. They're fucking awesome.
Are you going to get caught?
I am literally plugging a different jam band on a fish.
Thank you, Brad,
Podcast.
man, for everything. Shout out to Brad, who took a lot of pictures. He pissed off our friends over here on either side.
Now look, again, I'm going to say this one more time. Reba is
What's
still a
your
better
type?
song, but I'm going to go ahead and say that
I know.
over the two shows, Ghost wins. Ghost wins for this. And yeah, let it grow.
Scoy, what are you talking about? We just let you take over the whole fucking broadcast.
Yeah, I'm still
Ghost-
talking about how Reba's
Ghost
a better
is a
composition.
better song.
No, it's not.
Ghost is a better song only because the line, "This was my big secret," is like the story of my life.
No, you're supposed to get in here and talk.
Yeah. What's up, Makita?
All right, now we need Makita's thoughts.
You know,
Get down here. Let's get the thoughts
I'll
on the
give
show.
I'll give you some breaking news. We're going to be filming the promo for the Makitas while we are in New York.
Makitas. What's up, Brody?
Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't know about this. Did you guys know about this? I don't know if we want to talk about this, but someone fucking jumped from the skybridge.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we're going to talk about it.
Are they okay?
They jumped on purpose and they're okay.
Okay, all right.
They thought it would be a good idea to jump.
They knocked the dude out. They landed out.
Is he okay? All right. So apparently, people are okay.
All right.
Which is good.
RJ's here. Let's shift.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, I love you guys.
walk out and let me know, and then you guys walk back in.
I have no gag prediction, but I'm really bad at those things. I think I'm safe. Game hen, second set. Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that. Dude, RJ walks up with this fucking. RJ got the fucking best shirt in the house.
It's a dope shirt.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So how?
Good to finally meet.
I need to know from the mouth of a very successful content creator, how do you get prime table and not corner table?
You're talking to someone else. It's been awesome, man. Dude, this setup, I mean, I'm not, first of all, we're here to sell posters, right? You know how many times I've sold posters in my life?
How many?
One.
Right now?
So I have no fucking idea what's going on, but I cannot believe the crowd's here.
It's nuts.
It's nuts. I thought it would be like an initial push, and then it would.
We thought we were going to have a little more breathing room and that would be a little lighter and we could go out and mingle and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of it is the energy, but it's cool.
It is.
Like that's why I wanted to get the shot where you see people walking by.
I like how you did
This is a pro setup. You want a beer?
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, salute.
A guy who knows a lot about pro setups.
Guys,
Wait, I mean, you've been to a couple fan arts before, haven't you? Yeah.
we've done a bunch of stuff, but we've never I've never sat down and said to people like, "Do you want to buy this thing?"
Right.
You know,
It's a different thing.
It's a different thing.
Yeah.
But it's great.
But it's going good, right? You guys saw some stuff?
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the sugar maple art we have by Ryan and Kerrigan, it's like we got all the digital proofs. You know, it's like wow, that's beautiful. But then you see it in person. Like all this art, you know, it's like when you see it in person, it's just like mind blowing.
It's like it always blows my mind how much energy the fans put into this crazy artwork that they're, fan art literally, but like it's just that fucking cool. Like they are literally pumping their soul into all this.
And it's art that's cultivated around art. That's cultivated around art, right? Like if you think about it from the seed of like Tom writing a beautiful prose or poem or whatever. Right, that in itself is art, and then Trey writing music to it, it's the next level of art. And then the band getting together and creating the songs, and then jamming, and then all of us as a community creating art about the art about the art. It's amazing.
Gyron Spiral.
It's the inception of art.
Yeah, it is the inception.
Is that that movie?
I might make a podcast now. The
Yeah.
inception of art. I
About
think
the
I'm
inception
feeling
of art.
I
right.
know who
Good
you
idea.
should talk to.
Yeah, Wook Plus. Plus Network.
Damn!
What's up, everybody watching? Hey,
So, all right, what's your highlights of the last 2 nights so far?
oh man, I get in trouble on the internet because I say I really love fish. It's like the worst thing if you say you love a show. People are like, "You must be
Oh,
fucked
no,
up."
I loved both nights. I fucking loved it. I
But
was
last night felt
a step up,
special.
though. Yeah, no, it was a
like
special show.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I know attendance bias is a thing, but I honestly thought, I mean, I know there's flubs every so often, but I do think they played really well on Wednesday also. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
especially
Reba,
for not
I think
having
there's
played
like
since Dicks or whatever.
composed Reba flubs.
That we're gonna get that.
So here's my deal, which I don't know if you guys agree with. I don't give a shit.
No.
Like, I don't care what they play. I don't
Me
care how
neither.
they play it.
I am the exact same way, man.
But I understand that some people treat it as if Fish is like a sports franchise.
Yes.
You know, it's not true. There's no winning, there's no playoffs, there's no championships.
There's no objective win or loss. There's personal, subjective wins or losses.
But I feel like if you don't care about it and you're like, I just want to see a show and have fun, then you're like a less observant fan than if you're like, well, this song choice and this slot was like not good. And you're like, you realize these guys, they don't care.
Yeah.
First of all, they don't care what you think, for sure. I mean, they care what we think as a community.
Well,
But they're not going to be like, well, if we play Strange Design after Leaves,
I mean,
like,
I
that could
thought
piss
that
some
was
people
awesome.
off.
I thought that was awesome. But I'm a Strange Design standard for life. I love that.
I just wish it was placed later because I'm a junkie and those
the Carini possum had such a high launch. I wasn't ready to pull back, and I don't have a say in it.
It was Carini, possum, and then one other rager, right?
No, it was Leaves and then Strange Design.
Was 20-minute over. So.
Wait,
so how do you, like, in that moment, are you like, I wish they wouldn't have done that?
No, because, and this is where I'm going to speculate, project what I think, how I think onto you, but not just RJ, like Osiris, but like RJ doing HF Pod, and you've been in the content analytics. You have to separate almost the experience at the show and the analytics and the nerd to after.
100%.
I never did that before. I used to have it all be one, but now that I do this kind of stuff similar to what you guys do, I have to say, like, I'm just experiencing this live, not worried about what they're doing and if they placed it right. But then I'll go back and listen and talk and analyze. And that's the cool thing is my thought the night of is going to be different than my thought in a few days.
Yeah. Well, even the other night, like I run into Baker on the way out. I haven't met her yet, and like people are asking me how the show is, and like I literally have no words at the end of the show. I don't want to. It's not like I don't want to be asked, but I can't process right at the end of a show and be like, you know, this, and this. Give me a couple days, and then I'll actually have like some thoughts on like what happened and whatnot. Because at the end of the show, I'm just that happy because I got to see Michigan.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm a no expectations guy.
But I think you're right about like a couple of days later, there are shows that are more re-listenable.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are shows you have to listen to, but
I probably won't re-listen to Wednesday, but I probably, again, like after the first
Stash
one.
And Reba, I thought were fucking
There's
highlights from every
they
show.
were just trying to figure it out. I mean, to me, it always goes back to like the length of the jams, which is like the most subjective thing because like it doesn't matter if it's 18 minutes or 17 minutes if like your point is to try to find like nuggets of like original.
The only
right.
The only reason I think length is can be a contributing factor to the quality is I think Trey is the most critical out of any of us. And if it's not well, like if it's not going well and it's not locked in, he'll ripcord it or pull off. So just by the mere fact that it makes it to 17 plus, 20 plus, means that it had to have been good enough for him to keep going.
And I think last night was like there were a couple times that he talked to us where like it could have gone into like I was waiting. I thought it might be like a 9-minute
quickie.
Something and then it's something, but like they just kind of are pushing through these periods of like I can play something else right now or just like keep going. And I think that's like to me about the energy, you know, like I think they're feeling whatever they're doing at the time. I mean, I'm no fucking fish expert, but like I love going to concerts, man. You know? And there's attendance bias for sure, but I do think like some shows are more listenable.
Oh,
after.
And I get it.
I'm pretty sure we just lost viewers because like, oh shit, I tuned in to hear fish experts. This guy's a phony.
It cracks me up too because like I mean, Fish.net is his thing, but like Wednesday's got a 3.4 right now, and last night's already got a 4.4. And like I'm always curious.
That'll
why
come down though.
the
There's
general
always
populace,
a search.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, is it because Tweezer and Hood got played at the same night? Is it because the playing was that much better last night?
It's because it was a debut and display of champions. It had a Ghost, and it had a Hood, and it had a Tweezer.
Right.
So my like 5 favorite songs to hear live were all played in set 2.
All 5?
Yeah. Like I love Character Zero.
Yeah,
It's my favorite song because he can fucking karate chop, dude.
And
like,
I've never been on the floor at MSG. They were not joking about the bouncing. Holy shit! And when
The
Character
whole
Zero
room.
hit up, oh my god!
Tweezer and Hood are my 2 favorite songs.
Tweezer, Hood, Zero, Ghost, and what's the 5th? Mango?
No.
Maze was
Tell me
really
you like
fucking
Mango.
good.
I really love Mango.
Maze
Now
last
I
night
just
was really
said something
good.
I can't really back up.
Dude, second set Maze.
Edit that, guys.
Yeah.
Cut.
We got people that can do that.
Second set Maze doesn't happen very often.
No. And like there's been the second set Reba first night.
Right.
Insane.
Set
I really
opener
like when they play
Susie.
with the placements and stuff. I feel like there was a few
That was
years where
wild.
things were hitting all at the same time.
Yeah.
And then the last couple of years, I mean, I know we had a big break, but like they've really started mixing stuff up again, which I really like. You know?
So all right, let me ask you guys a question. It's good because like
That's why we have hosts on. Get some professionals and bring some order to this show.
here's the thing for me.
Damn it.
And I'm curious if you guys agree or disagree. For me, like the analysis, which is funny because like that's like kind of what I do for a living, I guess, or part of it. But like, I don't care that much about what they play, how they play it. Like, I think if there's like you can have a 20-minute jam that is less adventurous than another 20-minute jam.
For sure, right?
But it's still subjective. It's art, right? But like, do you care? Do you care what they play?
You mean from like set list strength?
Yeah. Do you look at it as like? Because I have friends who are like, it's like it's about the flow and it's about the song choice, and I'm like, first of all, they're just trying to play a concert.
So I've DJ'd for 20 years.
Yeah.
Not every show can be completely flow. You know what I mean?
But are there differences? Like, do you walk away from one being like, I wish that was like a tiny bit better? Or are they all just
I don't
like,
go in expectations because I don't like expectations.
Yeah.
But I go into a Fish show wondering how they're going to DJ their own music. You know what I mean? And sometimes it comes out perfectly.
Yeah.
Sometimes
More
they
times
hit
than
almost
not,
it.
though, they hit it. I think.
Yeah,
with set list
and more
structure.
times than not, they hit it. But look, you can't have every show be perfect, especially when you play.
But from an artist's perspective, are you trying to create a perfect show? Or are you just trying to like ride the energy of the day?
Asking what I think Trey thinks?
No, or if you're DJ.
I mean, the goal is to always make the best show possible.
Best show
All right, but at least if you figure it out, if there was a best show and you figured it out and you played it for 30 years, you would then have to figure out another best show. And I think that's what it is they've gone through so many different iterations. And I don't think they wanted to become like with Dead, you knew certain songs were always in certain slots. And it was starting to get like that. I mean, it got like that with Fish. And I think they're purposely fucking with us.
That's why I
my perspective on this question comes from the cheap seats. And you don't get as many chompers talking, I feel like, on the floor. But you get a lot in the 200s. And the set list dictates that, has a lot to do with that. If they keep the energy going and can maintain focus of the audience, it makes my experience better.
Right.
But when he's like, oh, I want to play this new love song or soul song, even though as a fan I can appreciate it,
Right.
the casual fans around me don't, and they start talking or going on their phone. And you could argue, all right, well then spend a little more money, stub up, but I think that's also a litmus test for the truly magical shows where even Joe Blow, who doesn't even really know what he's watching, is fully locked in and enthralled.
So that's really interesting. And that's a really good point. In the night one, my friend works for the NBA, so we had a suite the first night. 20 people, all friends, but different levels of Fish fans. Like
I saw that tweet. I was so jealous. I was mad jealous.
It was like me and Matt Dwyer, and then really people who love Fish to people who haven't seen a Fish show in 20 years. Okay. And Wednesday night, it's interesting because the suite is totally different. All people know each other. Everyone's talking during the first set. And I kept going to people and being like, we don't talk during Fish shows. but the question is, like, if it was last night, would the talking have happened or not? Because, like,
not as much.
Maybe not as much, right? So there is
command
something about
your attention last night.
Attention,
Yeah.
And I think there's something about that. But I personally think like the flubs, the miscues, I just don't buy it because I think it's all part of the experience for me. It's also like looking at a fucking painting. Like
nothing's perfect. Nothing is perfect.
And if that is your standard, you're going to be pissed.
That hypercriticism, though, is a result of Couch Tour. Because when you're in the experience and you're drinking, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
But there's a whole slew of people, well, our friends, right? A lot of people watching this that'll be watching it on their couch, tweeting the fuck out of it, analyzing it, and instantly telling you where they messed up.
Yeah. I mean, attendance bias is real. It is seriously.
You better get off your couches.
Yeah.
Get off your couch.
Come to the show.
So that's the lesson of tonight.
Well, I don't know though. I mean, maybe there is so I guess the main thing is is objective criticism of music possible? This is a fucking insanely hypothetical.
I would argue there's absolutely not.
I'm not sure.
I think Ken was messing with you.
Oh, he has focus.
I know. I love this camera for this shot. Yeah, it's a nice setup.
Are you guys doing stuff?
Yeah, they selling sugar maple posters.
No. You guys doing podcast and stuff from this event or whatnot? No.
We left it to these guys.
All right.
It works. We have a really nice. I mean, you're like the leader and we're the peon. So
probably the balance
That's not how
comes.
I would describe it, but
No, but honestly, I've always loved how we interact together because we are in similar worlds, but different avenues, and they're very symbiotic. And I will tell people, if you want really profound analysis, HF Pod, and now it used to be with you, but now with Brian and Matt and everything, like that is a level of understanding of fish that you're not going to get from me. Or
Especially
plus,
if you have me on the
unless
show, it's not going to go
unless we have them on, right? Then you'll get it. But if you want to just hang out and have some beers before the show, like there's a thing
But I
here.
think that's the beautiful thing about the community, right? Obviously, it's like
Something for everybody.
There's a little bit of everything. I am like, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, because I've like seen so many shows over the past 20 years or something. When I go to a show now, like people, like my friends will text me and be like, "How was the show?" And I'm like, "Fucking awesome." Yeah. Like I don't,
yeah, especially after
maybe 2 weeks later, I can go back and be like, "All right, if I were to be the arbiter of this, I would have like done X, Y, and Z differently." But at this point, to me, it's all gravy. The whole thing, the fact that we're even here.
All right, let's stage.
Dude, it's fucking insane.
Okay, really
Wait,
quickly, I got
all
to say, like on Wednesday, I show up, and I love fish. I love fish.
This
Great
wasn't
man.
really quick, man.
Great man. But I showed up, and I got to see all of my favorite friends.
Yeah.
And like, it didn't even hit that I was seeing fish until we got in line to go in the venue, because I'm so happy to see everybody. You know what I mean?
That's
Skoy, I gotta tell you something. We're about to do what they call in the business an evergreen scene. I'm gonna ask RJ what he thought of the show last night, and then we're just gonna use that for every show because they're all fucking great. So, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what did you think? What did you think of the show last night?
I thought it was fucking great.
Fucking great.
I thought it was fucking amazing.
It was fucking great. We will. All right, Lana, I know you're watching producers. Let's get that out. That is the take. Cut it. We're done. It was awesome.
Hey, we love you guys.
This guy's right here.
Have a good show on Couch Tour.
We really are done, right? Oh yeah, we're over.
Is that it?
Did he cut us already? No.
You want to say anything else?
I just want to say thank you to Tim and the Academy for having me.
Hey, the Wookiees are coming back. Maybe you'll go for a trip.
Love you guys. I'll be in bed. No, don't.